Oh my gosh, that sounds delicious. Can I come over?
Yes. Yes.
Duh, of course.
Okay, now can you pay for my plane ticket?
We'll be right there.
It depends on how much it is.
Right. All right. If you
And
must
some ramen.
blink, do it now. Pay careful attention to everything you see and hear, no matter how unusual it may seem. And please be warned, if you fidget, if you look away, you won't forget any part of it, I tell you. Even for an instant, then our band of heroes will surely perish. And that's everybody good? Let's go. Let's do this.
Oh yeah.
You looked away! Everybody dies. A meteor hits us.
Oh no!
Alright, we are in the town of Phandalin. So, last time, what ended up happening, everybody in a bit of a rush trying to get out of the castle of, the ruin, not the ruins of Philandry, Castle Cragmaw Castle. You guys had fashioned a makeshift, gurney to be able to drag your dead friend, or previously dead friend, Roland, to get him to
makes me
safety.
laugh that you just strapped me to the panther.
And so our battle panther, and through a series of events of dragging him in a very loud and brazen fashion, you encountered some hobgoblins, of which had just come off of a hunting party and had killed some elves. Clandon, stricken with grief, stricken with anger, and just pure fury, tapped into his planar warrior. That's what it's called, right? Yep. This is tapped into this inner sense and augmented his ability to completely just evaporate the leader of this band of hobgoblins. Chaos ensued. You fought valiantly. You were able to slay these evil foes, as well as a companion in the woods, unbeknownst to you, had helped in this endeavor to get there quicker. So had deposed the owl bear that you guys had previously freed, repaying his debt, killed a couple of wolves that were a part of this war band. So you guys were able to make your way out through the night, and through cover of darkness you came back into Phandalin. At which point you and Gundren, who was basically the reason for you to seek out Cragmaw Castle, having successfully rescued him, make your way through his, basically just kind of giving you pointers to Sister Grail. Upon this path, you were also led and helped by a fellow adventurer, Wise Yori, a turtle, of which is, as far as you guys are understand in Phandalin, they are scarce. You've never seen something like that before. As far as a race, they are something that they keep to themselves pretty well. So it was pretty odd. He left you with some words of advice. But before that, Sister Grail, waking her up from her sleeping stupor, she laid waste to her kitchen area to make room for Roland on the table, where she performed the rites and ritual involved in Revivified to bring this poor soul back to life. Had you guys not gotten there sooner or later, if you had ended up having more time delayed or what have you, and hadn't rushed there immediately, you're not sure if he would have made it. But you were able to make this pact, and upon him returning to this world and this plane, Yori takes his departure from the party, and Roland rejoins as a newly back to life dude. If you recall, you're
I'm a newly back to life dude.
It's a new dude, man. And so at this point, you guys had kind of adjourned over to the Stonehill Inn. In order to spread the good news that he was able to come back in search of Sildar, Gundren Rockseeker went to the Townmaster's Hall, knowing that would be where his friend and confidant and overall just partner in all of this. He knew that he'd be there working late hours. You guys went to the Stonehill Inn, had a hearty round of drinking, For some of you, others went to bed having been near-death situations seemingly through the last day and a half or two. You guys sleep well into the afternoon at this point. Waking up, finding yourselves feeling refreshed, having a full night's rest. Roland, you no longer have a point of exhaustion, and so you're just back to normal.
Let's see, where is that? So, as I wake up, I'm actually, so the first thing that I do is I get out of my bed and I set my armor down on the floor, and I take the pouch that's around my neck that has all of the dust from what the items and everything that my companions have or use to kind of revive me, and I set it on the armor and I just start praying. I'm actually using my Blessing of the Forge, which is a new ability that I got by multi-classing into Cleric. At first level, I gain the ability to imbue magic item or magic into a weapon or armor. I'm doing armor, so I can get a +1 bonus to my AC for the day.
Nice.
And I can just do this with one piece of armor or weapon each day. So if I needed to do it on somebody else's, I can do that too, and it just lasts for the day. And I basically spend this time praying to my God, asking for his protection and guidance throughout the day. And then I put everything back on. I make sure that the pouch of dust is around my neck. It's kind of my reminder. And then I'm going to go downstairs and wait for the rest of the party so that I can talk with them.
Perfect. And herald through the night. As you guys have been dreaming and going through, a few of you, as you're dreaming, Venfina first and foremost, after having said these deep, sincere prayers and feeling the affirmation of your deity, as you slept through the night, you had just very pleasant dreams. Dreams that things are okay, and that all the people who you have seen depart from this world are at peace. You make contact with these individuals and know that you have done right by them. Dormorlum, he's passed out drunk still in the tavern. He's missing his pants and shoes and seems to be just in a heap near the hearth. Aurora, a relatively peaceful night's sleep as well. You have the excuse me. Upon entering the Stonehill Inn, it was a little bit odd to have a panther enter, but knowing that you have brought back Gundren and knowing that you guys have done so much for this town, the innkeeper allows that your panther is able to stay in your quarters. He asks that you keep Tiger Lily kind of out of trouble, because obviously it scares away customers, but she happily is able to curl up, keep you warm and by your bedside and all that fun. Clandon, however, you have a little bit different night's sleep. As you're sleeping, you're experiencing something similar to PTSD, in the sense of you're having these sweats and just this jolts of panic and these feelings of just inexplicable feelings of just being out of control and not being able to have being able to fully protect your friends and those that were closest to you, and having seen one of your companions die to the point at which you weren't sure if they could return from the dead. You're still able to get a full night's sleep, but you have different flashing images, and one of which in particular sticks with you. During all of these different dreams, you get the feeling that someone's watching you, and you get the feeling that that you're not alone, and that this entity is watching you very closely, and having this sight on you puts chills in the base of your neck, and just constantly the feeling of looking over your shoulder, but every time you do, nothing is there. And upon just before awaking, you sit up very quickly, seeing the sight, as you are able, in the corner of your eye, see the glinting teeth and smile of something in the shadows, and a many-pronged hat or mask, so to speak, that essentially looks kind of like a kris. If you're familiar, look, blades of a kris. They're like a it's a blade that basically kind of goes back and forth. It's like a dagger.
Gotcha.
But it's in the hat. It's on the actual mask itself, and just these glinting teeth, and just these very, very dark eyes that you see for just half an instant, and basically just completely knocks you out of your sleep.
I'm awake.
Oh yeah. And so, coming downstairs, you see everybody. You see Roland. Everyone else. You're the last one to come awake, Clandon, at this point.
Clandon, good morning. I am buying everybody breakfast this morning. What can I get you?
Definitely something strong to wake me up.
It's a little early for vodka or anything, but
Not that kind of strong.
okay.
What will you have? What'll I have for you, Master Half Elf?
Can I get some eggs and brisket or something?
Aye, yes, you can. You hear him call back. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to breathe and swallow at the same time. He calls to the back. Hey, we'll take another special. Bring it on out. So he brings another one out. You're able to get some food.
Yeah, I am buying breakfast for everybody though. So
okay. So this is going to be modest. This could be 3 silver pieces a person.
okay.
Don't worry about the dwarf that's passed out.
Okay. So 15 silver pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as everybody is waiting for their food, I'm actually going to say I actually wanted to talk to you all before we did anything else this morning. I wanted to thank you all once again for bringing me back literally from the dead, from the clutches of death. That was very nice of all of you. And I feel like you sacrificed much to bring me back. And as a paladin and as a cleric of a god, I don't think that I can let that go with just a thank you and a meal. So I just wanted to let you all know that I am at your service until my debt is paid.
There should be no...
No. I talk with my mouth full.
Hey, it's realistic, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. You know you do it.
Aurora is one of those unrefined elves.
Right.
We're just really hungry.
Well, the food should be here
Especially for
soon.
food I don't have to pay for.
But I just want you to know that I am yours to command. I have a life debt to each of you now.
You've got no debt to me. We failed you. You should have never have died.
Well, dying is a risk that my kind takes. Not humans, but paladins. We kind of embrace the idea that we might die in service, but to be around such caring friends who want to bring me back is just incredible. I know that you may not think that I owe you anything, but I promise you that when you need me, I will be there for you always.
Appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Just keep up the hills.
You see a few familiar faces.
Just don't die again.
That I can't promise.
Death. It was a hard day. I'm really glad that you're not.
I don't think we're going to be able to do that again.
Okay.
Well, if it does happen again, I just know that I am at peace with my life, and you guys can rest easy knowing that I did exactly what I meant to do.
So as you guys are continuing this, the barmaid comes out, sets some of the food on the table, sets it all out, puts it down, gets everything kind of this nice spread. You smell the sweet smells of the eggs and the bacon, the salted pork, the
Salted
meat,
pork?
and the water. They have this really light, not really alcoholic, but this honey mead. And he says, this one's on the house. Please enjoy. You guys have done so much for us. At which point you see Gundren come through the front door with Sildar in tow. He says, my friends, I see you're awake.
Sildar, Gundren.
I see.
That's what we're happy about.
I see you're all in one piece.
Barely.
Where are your friends?
Now at least.
Well, you got the one passed out on the floor over there, and we still don't know where our other friends are at. They've gone off on their own.
Intriguing. Well, I will put out messengers. We'll keep an eye out, see if we can help find them. I've heard from Dormorlum, not from Dormorlum, from Gundren Roxy, from Gundren here. He's told me a lot about kind of what happened and what had transpired. I'm deeply sorry, and I'm glad to see that you, Master Roland, that you're feeling much better and seem to be better on your feet. At this point, he kind of flashes you one of these nightly. Yeah, he flashes you.
Ooh,
Woo!
hello.
Look under this tunic. He's wearing his very stately robes. This is Sildar Hallwinter speaking. So,
I am very glad to be on my feet as well.
And Gundren kind of butts in. He's all right. Enough of the sappy stuff. Now back to business. I have a proposition for each of you. As you guys know, we're being held captive for some time. I was separated between me and my stuff, and I appreciate you returning some of these things. I've been able to get them from Barthen's provisions, and I'm deeply grateful. But I'm afraid that we're still missing a piece of the map. I don't want to impose anything on you, but I know that you guys have helped us in so many ways. I'm trying to keep this accent. I'm sorry. it's really hard. Okay, you guys have helped this town so much, but I want you to make it worth your while. If you can help me and be able to recover this map, I can make it worth your while.
I'm going to look to the others and kind of defer to them, just because I literally just told them that I'm at their service.
What do you guys think?
Well, we don't have much else going on.
That's a true adventurer attitude right there. Well, we don't have anything else going on. I guess we can go into danger again.
What benefit will this map have for the town?
Well, as you quite knew, my brothers and I, we believe we found the secret remains of the Wave Echo Cave. He whispers into his hand, kind of looking around over his shoulder.
What is that?
Salt.
Go ahead and roll a history check.
Anybody or just...
Anybody in earshot, which is pretty much everyone except for Dormona. And assume Tiger Lily's still up in your bedchamber quarters.
Bring on the historical knowledge.
Tiger Lily rolling.
Right. All right. So, Venfina and Clandon, Roland and Aurora. It doesn't quite ring a bell. Venfina and Clandon. You've heard in different stories in different places. You knew that this particular town of Phandalin was a town that used to prosper because of this Wave Echo Cave. This Wave Echo Cave was a place where artisans of many crafts came together and made some of the most precious and wonderful magical artifacts in the entire Sword Coast region. So this was a place where people could come and commission, or the artisans themselves would just create these elements of just massive power, or just simply something, just different artifacts and items. That is what made Phandalin prosper. Well,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Isn't that... Sorry. Isn't that where the Spellforge is?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
And my brothers, they're out looking. We believe we found the place, and I had the map, but when I came back, obviously there was a little bit of a little distraction as I got caught and put in shackles, and
Yeah, how about did you go getting captured or whatever, kidnapped? I don't know.
It really wasn't my idea, but going on the highways, it's normal to be a little rough, but it seems that they were targeting us. A man I've heard a few times. They called him by the Black Spider.
Did that have anything to do with the drow woman that we saw? Now I'm saying drow woman because I don't believe Roland was around when she died.
Correct.
And turned back into her changeling form.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, in some ways, I believe she was there to try and take me away. At that point, that bugbear was there to lead that clan, and it was his intent to keep it for himself. He wanted to have all the gold and these things to himself. He believed that it was in his interest in growing his clan and making it a place for other people of his kind to come.
Well, how are you gonna protect yourself in the future?
Well, that's what you guys are for. I'm not much of a fighter, but I do my best where I can, and that's why I hire the best of the best. I have a way of knowing people, and he taps the side of his big nose.
Oh, Gundren, if we do this for you, will we be given access to what is it called? The echo chamber?
The Wave Echo Cave?
The Wave Echo
The echo
Cave?
chamber.
The Echo Chamber. Hello!
Well, this is great.
Well, in a form or fashion, we can definitely... I don't know what's still down there, but I'd definitely be open to seeing how much... Again, you've done so much for me. I'm in your debt.
Who was that turtle guy?
Turtle? Oh,
Oh, wait, is the other guy not in there as well?
Sildar's here. Dormam, the other guy wasn't here. He left.
Oh, darn. I thought they were both there still.
I'm at as much of a loss as you are. Sorry, lass.
Well, where do you think it is? Where is the last time? Any clues on to get us on our way to finding it for you?
Well, and as he starts to speak, Sildar steps in. I do believe that my scouts have been out and about looking at different things. There's been some movement in to the north of us. I believe that if you've ever heard of the ruins of Thunder Tree.
Yes, you already tasked us to go check it out.
Yes, I believe we've spoken with a few of our people. We weren't sure if we would find Gundren there, but I believe that seeing scouts, we've seen a few cultists in that area moving here and to and fro. So, if it might be something, it might be nothing. I really don't know. But if you guys wouldn't mind doing it out again, we would definitely want to make it worth your while.
Well, everyone, say aye or nay. I'm in myself.
I will follow your lead.
Just as long as you don't intend on using the echo place for any harm. What do you guys plan on doing once you've found all the pieces to the map?
So at the mention of doing any harm, oh no, you misunderstand us. We want to make this town of Phandalin we want to restore it to its shining gem that it once was. This is
Insight check.
I'd like to, yeah.
okay. Go ahead and insight check. Okay, so Roland and Vinfina, nice. So you're both looking at him. As far as you can see, he doesn't have any tells. It's nothing. He seems very sincere in what he's saying. And Sildar steps in as well, and he says, "And it is my intent, as a part of the Lord's Alliance, to make sure that we establish law and order in this part of the country. Now, Gundren, he is intended to be the benefactor of this city and restoring it to its former glory." And I intend to ensure that it stays a lawful and good place to live.
Gundren, if I may, how familiar are you with Halia Thornton?
With Aelia? That's a tricky one. She definitely has her fingers in a lot of places. She's definitely a businesswoman. What do you want to know about her?
I just said if you had any opinion about her.
I watch my back with that one.
Did you learn anything more about this black spider?
Well,
Fella, Mrs.
not much more, but they speak of him in whispers. They don't say much about him, and when they do speak that they've seen him or spoken with him, it's been in shadows and whispers. As far as what I understand and know, he's somewhere here, and he's very, very interested in the Wave Echo Cave. That's why he sent his spies. And Sildar says, and one of them, unfortunately, was able to dissuade my friend Glassstaff, as you recall. They are very powerful in their methods of influence.
And now this last question might be a little weird, and it's not really related to the Thunder Tree or the map, but I thought I saw somebody in my room last night. Or this morning.
I mean, it wasn't me.
Do you know anyone in town who has or wears a mask, a mini-pronged mask?
On mentioning the many-pronged mask, you see Sildar reach, kind of put his hand on the hilt of his sword on his thing. Mask, you say?
Yeah.
I just caught a glimpse. It almost felt like a dream, but I also definitely felt like somebody was there in my room. But
well, generally, if someone is covering their face, they're trying to conceal themselves. In what methods, whether that be to keep themselves safe or for more nefarious purposes, it's very troubling that someone was able to enter your room without your knowledge.
Preaching to the choir, man.
Are you sure that it was not simply a dream?
I don't believe so, but I did have a rough night sleep.
And that's an understatement. Slaps you on the back.
Okay then. I'm taking that
you guys do last night?
Not like that! Not like that! He's backing up and he says, oh! He shakes his head.
You gotta be careful with the roar there.
I can see that. I'll learn quickly.
I cup my hand over my mouth and whisper in his direction, unrefined.
He taps his nose. Big dwarven nose.
Well, if we are heading out,
I'm giving you a hand signal.
Does it only have one finger on it?
Oh, yes, it does.
And it's not hitchhiker. Look over there.
Well, if we are heading out, I do have to grab some supplies. I need some more rations.
Oh, potions, please.
If you have any loot from the castle that anybody needs to sell, it would be a good time to do this, I'm sure.
I actually do.
Yep.
You do? What did you grab from the castle?
I've got did I get this in the castle? No, Hobgoblin Barracks. Yeah, I got a quarterstaff. Yeah, it was in there.
We call it as the wings on it.
Yeah.
You just got the quarterstaff. Can I take a look at it?
Sure.
Okay. I
had it sitting against a wall or something. I grabbed it for him.
Okay. Yeah, hand it to him.
Okay,
So-
I'm just gonna look over it and I'm gonna see if all the just right out of the pocket. Yeah. Is that a quarterstaff in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? I'm gonna actually turn it over and I'm just gonna see if I can feel any sort of mystical presence in it. In fact, I can also, since I am a cleric now, I can cast rituals and I can cast detect magic. It's gonna take me like 10 minutes to do it.
So you
I
had
just
it.
want to see if it's.
You hand it to him. Do you have any flavor you'd like for the magic spell? Or the identifier.
So I just kind of close my eyes and I just start praying, mumbling under my breath. Okay. And then after about 10 minutes, everybody else can go do whatever they want at this point. Like,
Clandon, are you just staring at him while he's doing it?
Well, does he have to concentrate, or can he converse while he does this?
It is a concentration.
It's more concentration. He's pretty engrossed in it.
And
He kind of leans over it. He's very engrossed in
I'm
what's going
kind of intrigued because I've never seen this side of Roland before, so I'm like, what the heck is he doing?
Well,
it's kind of cool, so I'm watching.
All right.
Dying changes a man.
So as you're looking at it, you're kind of putting your hands.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, my eyes open up, and it's Raiden eyes, basically, like full on electricity, kind of sparking off and everything.
So you see this as his eyes start to glint and what have you. You see the arcane start to take over, and this holy arcane. Well, it's more of holy. Arcane's a different type of magic, but yeah. So you start seeing this crackling coming across his eyes as he's holding it, and you just kind of, oh yeah, all right. And at which point, Roland, after being able to commit the spell and finishing it off, you do see that this particular it's a staff that's very nice. It is well created. It's very fine. The actual shaft seems to be made of poplar of some kind. There is there's engraved stylized feathers all along it. It seems very light comparatively to others, and but as far as actual like damage, or as far as like arcane stuff coming off it, there's nothing. This is the identifier. Is this the other one?
This is detect magic.
Yeah, you don't detect anything. You don't detect heavy magic off it, like enchantments or what have you. It just seems very finely made.
Finely crafted piece, but I don't detect anything mystical on it. Is there anything else that anybody got that I might be able to look at for you, just in case?
Can it be anything that's magical?
Right now, my god is allowing me to see the magical currents of items.
So Clandon, the only thing he was able to glean off of it is that it weighs a pound, whereas a normal quarter staff would be a little bit heavier, like 4 pounds or something. I don't know.
Sweet.
It's like Antiques Roadshow right now. Bring it back.
Said, "Aw, you got a mini staff."
It's a normal size staff.
Don't make the obvious.
It's just hollow.
I've also got this magical scroll I've been holding on to. I was hoping to find a guy named Rydup to check it out near Thunder Tree, but hey, if you give it a try.
So
page 24, by the way.
So I look at the scroll. Now this isn't the identify spell, and I don't have enough gold for the identify spell. But
you need gold for that?
Yeah, the identify spell costs like a pearl worth 100 gold.
You can look at it. Yeah,
okay.
You can. Let's see. So this one's on 24.
Now, I have also written down in my notes that somebody got a, not to metagame here, but somebody got a small gold sun elf statue wrapped in cloth.
That'd be Clandon?
Yeah, I think Clandon got that too.
I did not write that one down.
Okay.
Yep, Clandon was the one that pulled it up. Either Clandon or Aurora. I remember it was a ranger.
It sounds familiar.
It was in the brazier.
Underneath all the ashes.
That would be Clandon.
I grab that. Dude, I grab everything.
Hey, Fred, thanks,
Anything
man.
not nailed down.
Anything not nailed down.
What was that again? What was the statue?
There's a small golden statue. It's right here. I'll get you this.
It's like the figure of a sun elf.
Yes.
And it was wrapped in crimson cloth.
Yes.
So as I'm looking over this scroll, I will mention that the experience of dying has brought me closer to my god, and I feel a lot more pious in my convictions lately. So he has granted me a different position within his hierarchy. So I'm not just a protector anymore. I'm also a supporter of his followers and those that would do good in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I should try dying.
I wouldn't recommend it.
It changes a man.
I came pretty close.
Landon, I'm gonna go visit Sister Grill because I'm pretty sure I need more healing potions for you.
If you go by yourself, can you pick me up several, maybe half a dozen, and I'll pay for them?
I probably need some money because I don't carry much on me.
Yeah, how much are potions typically?
Usually a regular healing potion, I think, is 50 gold if you're buying it.
Yeah, that sounds
Holy
about right.
cow, one each?
Yep.
Never mind.
It's expensive to not.
You have healing, greater healing, superior, supreme healing. In this particular area, you're not going to find much more than healing. You know that from the last time you went around.
Yeah, pick me up 3, and I hand her 150 gold.
I'll go with you guys. Yeah, I want to get one.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right. So as you guys kind of conclude, Dormorlem's still snoring away, drool dripping out, and.
Oh, sorry. What did I see off the scroll?
Oh, I'm sorry. The scroll. So that particular scroll. I heard mention of a bunch of different ones.
24.
So
I'm
this
gonna
one is. Did it say 24 halfway through?
I just had page 24 written down.
I'm checking these other ones. I don't see a scroll on that one, but I know they're within the same area. I know which one you're talking about.
I think we got it in the manor.
Yeah, you did. This particular one, I believe, is that? Are you sure that's the one that was there, or was that the one that we got from the Red Wizard of Thay?
Maybe. I've had it for quite a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been trying to find somebody to.
Oh, you're good.
That's what.
That's perfect. Where's that? It's not showing it in the actual. Oh, hold on. You got that. You got the sword. The +1's longsword.
Yep.
Oh yes. Okay. So, and you're right now using the detect magic.
Yes.
All right. So upon looking at it, you do see magic emanating off this. You can't read the sigils that are on it. These ones are arcane sigils, but you do recognize this as some kind of a spell. This is something that someone could use a single-use casting of this, but you're not sure what it is. You don't know what the trigger word is to activate it.
Okay. And then if Clandon does hand me the statue, I want to look that over too.
Okay.
And I also want to do a history check on it, in addition to
Perfect.
searching it for magic.
Go ahead and roll your history check for me.
Yep, that's about right for tonight.
Well, as I'm handing it to her, I'm looking at him looking at it too. So
Good.
I've
You
been
can do it.
rolling pretty well.
You can roll another one. Roll your.
Ow!
It's a pretty elf.
So as far as knowing what it comes from, you do recognize it as a sun elf. As far as what you see from it, you're holding it. Does any of you? Do any of you? Looking at it, you can see that this is a statue. It's imbued with divination magic. You recognize this. And as far as holding it, you're kind of looking it over different things. I assume one of you, does any of you read Celestial?
Me.
Then Fina does.
Really? Wow, nice.
I sure do.
Okay. So right now,
And I'm proficient in history.
Roland and Clandon are looking it over. You see the Celestial on it, and you're not really sure what it says, but you do know that
But it does seem magical.
It is divination magic is imbued in this object.
Wow.
Is Venfina still here?
Yeah, I haven't left yet.
Hey, Venfina, can you come take a look at this?
So history check. Just glancing at it, you don't quite pull anything from it, but you do see as she reads it. Essentially written on the underlying under portions of this actual statuette, if you will, golden statuette of a someone else. She looks at it, and as it reads on there, there's a kind of a cryptic cipher of sorts that you make out to basically say that you can ask this particular item using this keyword, and you can activate it and ask it a single question, and that it will answer that question once. And basically, it's something along the lines of saying, "Hey, if you try and use it again, it's not gonna." That's the whole thing of this particular magic. It's like you're getting a glimpse, like an oracle, into something, but you can only use it once.
Dude, it's a perfect item for me.
Do I decipher it as once per person?
It leaves it up. You're not really sure. It basically just says that you may use it once. It leaves it open-ended. As far as like the translation from Celestial to Common, there's some words in there that don't quite fit, and the way that it kind of doesn't directly translate, but that's what you're able to glean from it.
Man, there's so many questions I could ask.
All right. So.
In particular about my father.
Well, what this here statue is about is finding out the truth and asking it a very specific question, and it will answer you. So something we definitely want to think about if we're going to try and use it.
Now, is this a we try and use it or a Clandon try and use it?
Well, Clandon, do you remember where we picked it up?
Hey, we do everything as a group. I'm fine making it a group decision. I picked this up while we were up in Cragmaw.
So is Venfina's correct? As part of it is that it has to be a very specific course of action. You're asking it to tell you your future. I want to do this. Think of it as a magic 8-ball. I want to do this, but it's got one-time use.
So yes and yes and no.
Yeah.
Essentially, yes.
I'm not real sure if it's once per person or it would kind of be a trial and error. We'd have to definitely discuss it as a group and see where we want to.
Well, do we want to just hold on to it for now, or do we have a question we want to ask?
Given a little bit more time and a little bit more funding, I might be able to discern a bit more information about it. And I believe that something as powerful as this might be good in a pinch where we don't know where to go, or there's a course of action that we need to.
That's what I was thinking. Right now, we have a course set. We know where we have somewhere to go.
I agree. But patience is definitely a virtue, and but we also do have some companions that are missing. So I think pondering on that is definitely a good choice.
Okay, and at that I hold my hand out to get it back and put it back in my pouch.
Sounds good. And I'm gonna take some of my food and go take my plate and put it over by Dormorland's sleeping body.
Okay.
Just throw it on his body. Just don't worry about that.
You see him kind of kicking.
Hopefully there's no dogs about that'll come.
His face is on the hearth. There's this pool of spittle that is kind of stuck to the side of the flagstone hearth that the fire has long since died out. He's kind of sprawled there, one leg off the edge. His tunic mostly covering his uncovered behind, but he sleeps in the semi-buff, it seems. So
we're thinking this was an intentional nudity.
You're not sure. You don't see his pants anywhere, so.
Well, either way, I'm gonna take my red cloak and lay it over him, and then go over to the barkeeper, innkeeper, whoever it is.
Okay.
And just say, here's a gold piece for, if he wakes up and needs something.
Oh, I think you kind of know.
Well, does he have any gold on him? Do I observe?
He should have at least 10 from me.
You get hammered drunk, you don't know you put stuff.
Okay, well, I'd like to do investigation of him and just see if he has any gold that
I would like to search the dwarf's naked body, please.
Roll.
it should be easy.
Roll investigation with advantage because he is asleep. Unless it's disadvantage because it's the first time you've seen a naked man's butt.
Cannot trust this dude.
Is he naked? No drawers. I don't know.
I told you, he's in the half buff.
To half buff.
The half buff. The Shia LaBeouf.
He's an actual cannibal.
He's not shy.
So you're searching around. You do see that it seems like there's no signs of resistance or anything. He doesn't have any pockets, and he has his tunic on, and his part of his top pauldrons are slightly pulled off, but he's mostly intact. But you don't find any coinage on his person.
All right. Well, then I just head over to the keep and give him some coin to take care of him when he wakes up, because I figure it's gonna probably be a long time.
Seeing this happen, not Bowser, Sildar has already left at this point, and Gundren says, "Well, I'll leave you to your party."
Gundren, real quick. I had started to ask you, where can we find this thunder tree? You mentioned to the north.
Oh yes, Thunder Tree. Sorry, I've got stuff in my mouth. Thunder Tree to the north. If you take the Tribor Trail back up towards Neverwinter, you can't miss it. There's some signs that take you over to the east. So the description he roughly gives you: heading up the Tribor Trail, heading west until you hit the road to Neverwinter, and then going north, and then it's to the east of that road.
Thank you. All right, you take care of
quite
yourself,
a ways.
okay?
Oh, you too. And be careful on those highways. I know. And he taps his nose again. He strolls out.
I want to quickly head to before I do that, but I'm like, all right, guys, let's, I think we should set out as soon as we can. It's already, afternoon, and we should probably try to get partway there since we got a ways to go.
Did everybody already mark off your innkeeper fees?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
So before we go,
What were they again? I don't think I did.
I need to buy rations, and I want to buy rations. I want to find a map, just so that we can have a little bit of a more detailed map of where the ruins are. And I actually want to find a messenger because I have a letter that I want to send home.
Okay, so you're able to get some of the cured meat with Toblin Stonehill, the innkeeper here. He's able to give you how many rations did you want? It's 3 copper pieces per.
I'll just go up to 10 rations.
Okay, go ahead and mark off 30 copper pieces. Okay, and then the rest.
Can I get a couple rations too?
Yep, go ahead. Anyone who wants to fill up on rations for brevity of time, he says, you guys have done so much for us. And he's got these, most of the rations he has is like dried meats, cured meats, a few different pieces, like basically bread rolls that are, the travel bread, essentially.
How much were they?
3 copper pieces per meal.
Okay, what does the SP convert to make copper?
10 copper goes to 1 silver, 10 silver to 1 gold.
So every silver is 10 copper.
Yep.
How many things come in your explorer pack?
I think it's different for each.
Dungeoneers.
I think it's different. Which type of backpack is it?
It's the explorers, right?
Explorers.
I'm thinking 7.
I see 10.
Mine came with
10 days of
Mine was
rations.
3.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah, mine only had 2 days of rations, but that's because
It's the explorer pack. I mean, come on, explorers.
Right?
We have the priest packs, I'm
yeah.
assuming.
Yes. So it does have the rope. It's got 10 days of rations. And I think while you were out, you guys have used maybe 1 or 2 of them. I want to say when we've had stops and stuff. But you have been doing a lot of foraging, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I haven't used any of my rations yet.
Yeah, so you got 10 rations right now.
All I do is throw mine at animals and
Hey,
Except the
owlbear.
Nothic. I gave some to the Nothic, and then we go and kill him. Poor
Whoa.
His
We're not
last
going
meal.
there.
How much were they again? Sorry.
3 copper.
And we can just get 10.
Yeah. And these are just your they're not like your best meals. These are just travel meals. This is something you can throw in a rucksack and know that it's not going to rot by the time you get to wherever you're going.
Lambus
All
breath.
right, you guys want to
Lammas.
go to anywhere else, or should we just head to Barthen's Provisions and then head out from there?
Well, I was gonna head to, the
Let's start with Sister
Lady
Grail.
Grail.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Benfina to get the healing potion.
Okay.
I have a few
We can
tasks.
You're gonna get the 3 from me, Fina, right?
Yep. No worry.
So we're gonna start with that real quick. You guys go up to Sister Grail's house, and
No.
And she's still asleep.
you bang on the door. You do still hear like a chainsaw, but it kind of interrupts and hold on, one minute. Hold on, please. She comes down. You hear there's kind of like these uneven steps of like. She gets to the front door and opens. Yes, and she's kind of rubbing her forehead, seeming nursing a headache or just the sunlight outside. Unbeknownst to her, so, oh my, it's very late. Can I help you? Oh, Benfina, Aurora, can I help you?
How are you today?
I could be better, but I'm all right. How is your friend? I hope okay. I hope. She kind of pulls her because it's not really chilly outside, but she is not in her day clothes, so she kind of pulls her robe around her a little tighter and tries to get herself hair a little less disheveled.
So much better. Thank you for everything you did.
Oh, it's just my pleasure. And by the way, I've been meaning to speak to you guys. A few of you come by. Do you mind coming in for a moment?
Yeah, we're here to see you anyways.
Ah, come in. I'll put on a spot of tea. And so you guys come in. You go into the kitchen again. Benfina, before leaving, had kind of helped put it back together. Looks mostly put together. She said, "Thank you very much for tidying up. I'm deeply sorry. I had to leave in such a hurry, but and just kind of the idle prattle of the morning. She puts some tea on, sits down, and she says, "So you first."
Well, we definitely wanted to check on you and make sure. I know something like that takes a lot out of a person, so is there anything that you needed?
Oh no, she kind of waves her hand. I'm fine. I'm feeling much better now, but it does take a lot out of you to create that bridge between the living and the dead.
Can we help you get some lunch ready or anything?
Oh, sure, that'd be great. You guys are able to help find some things, different things in there, and she says, "Oh, really, don't it, all right, there's this over there," and she kind of gives a little bit of. You can tell that she's a little bit of a busybody. She doesn't like to sit still, a little fidgety. And she's so while we're on the subject, you guys have done so much for this town, and I'm curious. Have you ever heard of the Harpers?
Should we do a history check to see if we have?
Yeah, go ahead. Do a history check. That's for you and for Aurora. Anyone else who joined them.
Me.
Okay, Benfina. Benfina, yes, you have heard of them. It's mostly in Shadows and Whispers. It's not something that's like. It's more of a fairy tale, I guess, of just different people who have shown great bravado, and you recognize them as somebody who generally is out for the well-being of towns, but they're not the kind of people who will stick themselves on statues and want to be noticed or what have you. They're more of a shadow society for the good, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yes, I have heard of them.
Well, excellent. I've from all the different things that I've seen from you, I feel like that you are very trustworthy. Can I trust you? And she looks both of you dead in the eye.
Sure, yeah.
I think we owe you our trust for sure. I hope that you would be able to trust us.
Absolutely. But you can never be too cautious these days. I want to know if you want to join the Harpers. As you know, as you probably have heard, and as you know, we as Harpers, we are defenders of good. We don't often work together in the same area. We tend to keep to ourselves and to gather intelligence and to try and help to bring about good in different towns. Now I know that in this particular town, there have been many who would seek otherwise to tear down this the well-being of the people around. And I've seen so many times, Vinfina, with you and Aurora, and the help that you have provided to not only to Sildar and to Gundren, but to the town itself and to Timora. Your pious, or what's hold on, I'm trying to think of the word. It's not pious. Your devotion for your deities is admirable. We are always here. We're here to help aid, whether through magical or other means, the people, because the people of of the Sword Coast are the lifeblood of what happens here, and I think that you each exemplify these ideals. What do you think?
I turn to Venfina and I'm like, what are the harpas, whatever she said?
It's such an honor to be considered for this. They are people that go about and they do good, but it's not for fame. It's not for recognition. It's just for the benefit of all those that they come in contact with.
So you're just part of like a club that helps people?
Well, when you put it that way, yes. And at this point, she kind of pulls the sweater that she has. She has this gold or this silver pendant of a half crescent moon, and inside of it a harp. And she says, "This is the mark of the Harpers. If you ever see one, you know that you have a friend nearby."
Yeah, that's definitely something I would be interested in.
Excellent, excellent. Well, what about you, Aurora?
Sure. I mean, I try and help people anyways, so why not?
Excellent, excellent. One moment, and she goes and kind of shuffles off. Opens some different drawers. Hear different things kind of clattering around.
Well, while she's doing that, I give a little look at Venfina, like, and we're good, right? This is okay.
Yeah, it's not like a cult, right?
It's a cult.
It's just if we run into anyone, we'll know that they also
Ask
have
for a
the
pamphlet.
good intent. Hey, I did a history check. I know this stuff, apparently.
Okay, so she kind of shuffles back, and in her hand she's got this little oak box, and she kind of opens it, blows a little dust off it, and then opens it, and in each of these two boxes that she has, these little tiny, probably about the size of your palm of your hand, she opens them. You see in each of them a silver pendant, just like the one that she has, with the half crescent moon, with the harp. And it looks like this. One second. Here, I'll just send it this way. Copy image address. See if you can click that. I don't know if it'll work. Can you see it?
Yep.
So it looks like that, except for it's just the crescent moon and the thing in silver emblazoned. She says, "These are for you, and I will make sure that it is recorded that you are two of our newest members. You now have the title of Watcher. Just remember, that wherever you go, that there are those who would undermine society and look to seek for the demise of both men, elves, dwarves, gnomes, and whatever which way you come from. But if you see one of these hops, that you do have a friend and someone to talk to.
Now, is it against the rules to talk about this? Like what stays in Fight Club or whatever?
Now, while I very much trust you and your band, I don't know that it would be in your best interest to show everyone, because again, there are those dark forces who would oppose us very strongly.
Got it. Do good. Hide the cool necklace under my clothes. All right.
Yep, and show them to only those who you trust.
Is it something we need to keep concealed unless...
Well,
Is there some secret Harper handshake?
it's not exactly our way to be open and brazen. It is. We're not here for the glory. So it may be in your best interest to keep it secret and not cast your ideals before others into the mud. Save them for those people who really matter to you. And that's the best I can give you as far as advice. We don't typically stay close together because that could arouse suspicion, and it makes it a lot easier for me to be able to work and help those around me without raising an eyebrow, having multiples near here. Now, I would advise that there are people in this town, as you know, with the ruffians and others that you guys have cast out, that there are those who really are not here in Phandalin to create this town. They're here for profit, at the expense of all others. So I exhort you to be very careful.
Okay, thank you. This is wonderful. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Actually, yeah, we actually came to see if you had any healing potions that you would be willing to sell.
Oh, yes, actually, I do. For one moment, please. And you see her kind of go upstairs. You hear doors open and close, some drawers sliding open. You see her kind of come back downstairs. Another box. This lady's full of boxes. Gift wrap, all that kind of fun. And so she kind of comes down. You hear the clinking of little glass vials kind of tipping up against each other. And she says, I've been holding these, at first, when you first came, I wasn't sure if you'd be trustworthy, but I've got about 7 or 8 here. How many do you think you'll need?
How much are they?
Yeah.
Harper discount.
How much are they?
This one. Well, I believe on these ones, go with normal price was 30 gold. Is that right? Off the top of your head.
I thought it was 50. Let me check.
Is it 50 gold?
I mean, this is a smaller town, though, so...
It is a smaller town.
Might be that it's higher.
Yeah, more expensive.
Let's not go with that.
That's what I'm trying to get a baseline, so I don't go too high or too low.
And these are just regular?
I thought I had it written down here, but...
Google it.
All right, now.
Looking it up now. Potion of healing is 50 gold.
Well, these are very hard to come by here, but I've made this batch special myself. With the fees, and she kind of counting her fingers and things. I believe I could swing this for maybe 30 gold for a fellow harper. 30 gold a piece, mind you. These are not. These components are very expensive.
Thank you. I want 2. Venfina, how many did you want?
Yeah, one of our companions needs 3. He often needs a good healing potion.
Was that
the clumsy?
Was the Roland fellow?
Coincidentally not.
Clandon sneezes in the distance.
Or his ear itches. We're talking about him. So I think I'll take the remaining 5.
Okay. So you guys are able to pull the remaining stuff.
Oh wait, were there 8 or were there 7?
There was 7, and then there was another one that was pretty much. It looked like it may have been past its prime. So you could buy it, but you're not really sure how well it's going to work.
Give that one to Clandon.
Oh, well, maybe I'll take the remaining 6 then.
If you're sure, I'm not really sure about that one, but okay.
Healing is healing.
Absolutely, and I'll be sure to try and restock best I can. But please, I don't want anyone knowing that that these exist. I don't want anyone knocking on my door. So make sure to keep it between us, please.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I'm here to make sure that the Temple of Timora, the shrine, is well kept. Not to open shop, if you understand.
Most definitely. And
okay.
I give her the gold.
Okay, go ahead and mark down the gold for you guys. So 5 for you, Vinfina, and you said 2? 6? 6 for Vinfina, 2 for Aurora? Go ahead and mark that down for you. 30 gold per. And so you guys kind of finish your conversations. Was there anything else that you wanted from her? Okay.
No, we just probably should finish our tea.
You guys have your tea, have some chit chat. The camera pans out and pulls back to Roland and Clandon walking in the dusty streets of Phandalin, heading. Where are you going?
So I am looking for a map maker to make me a map, and
Find me a find, catch me a catch.
And then I'm also looking for a messenger because I have a pair of letters I need to send off.
Okay, so at least from the last couple times, there's no cartographer in this particular town. If it was larger town like Neverwinter, you might find one. But the Lion Shield Coster is a place where they just recently get on different things. You might be able to check there.
Alrighty.
You know that from your previous kind of stuff walking around, and then into getting the letters delivered. You might be able to the Miners Exchange is a place where there's a lot of transaction. You might be able to find someone there that would be willing to page boy that to another town.
Alrighty. So I look at Clandon and I say, "Is there anywhere in particular you need to go?"
No, I'm just ready to hit the trail personally. So
Alrighty.
just finish what you need to do.
I'll be quick.
Okay, so you guys head south.
So I'll go to the Lion Shield first.
Okay, perfect. So
And I just follow along.
you have so the Lion Shield's down here. Bing.
So are we leaving Doral Marlem in the
He's still snoring in there, yeah.
shack naked?
Pretty much.
I covered him with a cloak. And
You don't want that cloak back with.
no, I certainly don't.
So I'm gonna
It's
walk
out of my
in.
inventory.
Yep. So as you walk in, you hear the familiar bell of as you kind of pull this large, heavy oak door open and dings. You see over near the table a familiar face of Lynn, and she kind of looks up. Lynn Greywind from Clandon recognizes her. I don't know. I don't think that at this point you would have gone in here yet.
Let me see. No, I have not met.
I don't have her name written down.
Yeah, it's Lynn Linene. Linene. Greywind. Linnier?
Linny.
Linny?
Yeah,
Grey.
Lynn.
Lynn. We'll just say Lynn. It's easier. Oh, it's you again! Welcome back!
Good afternoon. I was wondering if you had a map that might include the ruins of Thunder Tree.
The ruins of Thunder Tree? Interesting. Let me have a look. One moment. And so she kind of opens up the back door. She sees Clandon step in behind you. Oh, Master Clandon, it's you!
Lenine, how are you?
I'm good. I see you're all in one piece. I heard you guys had a little bit of a tussle.
We had a rough night, but we're feeling much better this morning.
That's
This afternoon.
Quite the talk of the town. I'm glad you guys made it back okay in one piece.
I hope they're not talking too much.
All good things, I assure you. She winks. And again, if you recall, she is for a description for you, Roland. So you know, she is a very kind of a very sharp woman. She's probably about, I don't know, 30, 35. She carries herself with a very happy and kind of jocund nature. and this seems to be her. This Lion Shield Coster is a larger merchant network, and she is just one of the store owners in this particular area. So. So she turns around, she opens up the door, and she says, well, I suppose if you're together, I don't need to, don't have to hide anything in the back. She opens the door, and you see, because on this particular storefront, you see your okay kind of swords and shields. She opens the door to the back, and you see a much larger array of different items for sale. You see her kind of get back there. She pulls one of these ladders with the wheels across it, kind of slides it across the door. You hear the creaking of the ladder as she's climbing up in this back room, and you hear kind of
any history that you might have on the ruins as well. I'm just curious to know more.
Oh, history. Yes, one moment. So you hear kind of a large tome, and you. She kind of blows. You see dust settling through the door as the light rays are peeking in through the front. She comes out, and she's holding a tube, a leather tube, that she kind of uncorks the top, pulls it out, slides it out, and she kind of sifts through 2 or 3 maps that are in there. And you say you're looking for Thunder Tree?
Yes.
I think I've got what. Here it is. And she pulls it out. At this point, you see a map that looks like this. I don't know if it's going to let you see. No, it's not going to let you see. Let me get a link for you 1 second.
Ooh, it looks... This is a great map.
A black map. You can't see anything. Close that one. 1 second. I don't have a thunder. There it is. Alright, cartography. Thunder Tree map. No, you guys don't get that one. No, you guys don't get that one either.
So I mean, if she has a detailed one of Thunder Tree itself, great, but I was kind of just like what Roland was hoping for was just a map to kind of show the general location of it so that we didn't just like take the directions.
Perfect. So the map that she pulls out is a map that's very similar to the Sword Coast. So this is the Sword Coast. So right here, we'll take everybody back here so you can see it. And everyone's in the same page. So right now, she pulls it out and she kind of lays this map out of this large scroll bag. It's made on this parchment that's starting to yellow a little bit and kind of crinkle at the edges, but it's still detailed enough to, she says, and right here, and she points to Phandalin, this is where we are, right here, Phandalin. As you're familiar, the Tribor Trail leads up here to the north, and she kind of traces her finger along the page, and where you're wanting to go is way up here. And it reveals... Where's it at? Second, I gotta get this dynamic lighting. Nope, that's not it. And then you're sprayed with acid! Just kidding. I am having a total brain fart moment. Reveal area, there it is. So she traces her finger as she kind of continues up the side of the thing. She says, you want to follow the high road, and if once you get to Neverwinter, you can either follow the river from Neverwinter, or you can go east to Thunder Tree. It's usually fastest, it seems, to go through the plains rather than through Neverwinter, because, export customs and other things that they have there, but not being merchants, you might not have that kind of needs. But yes, right here, Thunder Tree, and she points, I believe it seems it's right here in this area, just before you get to Neverwinterwood.
Wonderful, thank you very much.
Absolutely. And she scrolls up and she says, that one's on the house, and she winks at you. And
Roland blushes a little bit.
What else can I do you for? You wanted more history, you said?
If you have some history that I can just glean really quick, or any to buy off of you about Thunder Tree, I would be most appreciative.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Thunder Tree, I don't have any books here, but I've heard stories. Before, a long time ago, before Mount Hotanau exploded and basically covered everything here in ash and death and all kinds of fun. The Thunder Tree was another bustling city. It wasn't quite a shining jewel as Phandalin, but it definitely had its place in the world. But ever since the incident with Mount Hotenow, which you guys recognize from stories and things, up to the north, Mount Hotenow is a well-known formation.
Oh yeah, it pretty much destroyed Neverwinter's economy and.
Yep. So Mount Hotenow is up here. You can see it up there. You guys are familiar with that particular landmark. It is like magma lava. It tore through the entire area here, leaving it just like completely defaced and completely just decimated everything that was in the area. And now things are starting to kind of come back up. And you see, you know, that there's some stories coming from there, but you want to be careful. I've heard stories of shamblers. And, you know, things that, you know, you just don't want to run into in a dark alley.
Well, that's the kind of stuff that we deal with. Thank you for your information.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there anything else I can do for you guys today?
I'll look at Clandon to see if he's got any other business.
Just seeing your pretty face lightens my day.
Oh, you. She blushes. She says, no, I can't give you any more discount than you already got. Don't even try.
Okay,
I'll never stop trying.
Eventually make my way to the same place. Lions, whatever.
The coster, okay. So you come in. You hear the familiar bell, ding, 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 as the door opens. Benfina and Aurora step in, I assume. Is the panther still in the bedroom? She come?
She's still in the bedroom until I tell her to come.
Okay, sounds good. So you guys come in. Oh, Benfina, Aurora, it's so good to see you again.
Hello.
What can I do for you today?
Well, first off, I hand potions to Clandon.
Thank you.
Give him back his 60 gold that I didn't use.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, we do what we can. And then I'd like to see about getting some protective items.
Protective item, you say? What did you have in mind?
Well, do you have any cloaks of protection?
Cloaks of protection. I don't have any magic items. I have some pretty finely made swords, but and as far as what you guys are familiar a little bit with what the wares that they have. It's usually like a +1 item, but nothing. There's no like magic items here.
No rings of protection. Okay.
Rings of protection, you say? Those are pretty hard to come by.
Yeah, it's okay.
Might one find one?
I don't know.
I had one. It's okay though.
You had one? What happened to it?
Roland looks down and kind of away, like, oh.
It was worth the sacrifice. No worries.
Well, that is quite. That's good to hear, but sad at the same time. Yes, if you were to find one, I don't think you'd find one here in Phandalin. At least not yet. I've heard wind that they're trying to get the mines going again, and you know what they say. And she kind of goes and if you were to look, I would say, you know, you may be able to find something maybe to the north and the east, in Neverwinter, maybe some of the larger towns where some of the different arcanists might be residing, but here in Phandalin, there's little to nothing.
Okay. Much appreciated. Do you happen to have any incense or
incense? Let me check. I believe I got a shipment in just the other day. One moment. And she goes in the back again, just kind of shuffling through stuff. Comes back with these large sticks. How much are you thinking?
Just a couple blocks, depending on price.
And these are the ones that she's bringing out are large. They're like pocky sticks, essentially in bundles.
Yeah, perfect.
Let's see. So, any particular fragrances here? I've got some frankincense. Got some different. Right over here, we've got a little bit of rosemary.
Do you have myrrh?
No myrrh. I'm sorry.
Frankincense is fantastic.
Okay. Well, these ones it's a little bit more pricey, but.
Yeah, it's frankincense, so.
For this whole bundle of frankincense, it'd be about 5 gold.
And how many did you have?
Just I've got this bundle.
Ah. Okay.
Unless
so
you're
is
wanting
it
other
like,
fragrances.
is it just one stick of incense?
A bundle. This is like
It's like a block. Right?
15 or 20 of them in a just like wrapped around with twine. You can separate them, burn them one at a time, or you can burn them all at once.
Okay.
Think of them just like the ones that you have in, I don't know, it was like in the 90s, everyone had them where they had the little incense burning
Well,
platforms.
I'm just saying in my priest pack, I had a block of incense, and
It'd
I
be
just
pretty
was
much the
wanting
same
to
thing, yeah.
replace that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
they
burned
replace it.
a whole 15 at once.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then yeah. Yep, I'll take the one, and
You burned
what
enough to
other
make Bath and
fragrances?
Body Works feel bad. That's stinking. Would it, you're wanting more?
Yeah.
Let's see this. We've got over here, we've got some ones that kind of smell of lavender, and those ones are lovely in the springtime. We've got these other ones, and she kind of goes through a couple of different ones, all of which, depending on if you're wanting some really high quality ones, might be a little more expensive, or if you're wanting ones that are just kind of like, hey, they smell good. What are you looking for?
No, okay. I'll just take some lavender and frankincense.
Okay, we're looking in total. And how much? Let's see. And she kind of is pulling out a little abacus and kind of pulling it back and forth. And how's about I give you all of it group discount for all this here, which is the equivalent of probably like 4 or 5 bundles of those little bricks. I could give it to you for let's say 8 gold with your discount. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Perfect. And again, we cannot say enough good things about you guys. I hear so many great stories, and I wish I was able to go on adventures like you guys, but I just don't have the heart for it. And she kind of prattles on for a little bit.
Her vest.
What is vestments? That would be like priest robes. Like if you're to do rituals or whatever.
Oh, actually, the only other thing I was looking for was some more water skins.
Water skins. Oh, we've got a dime a dozen. What do are you looking for anything fancy?
I don't know. Like, maybe I just need one that's bigger. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, we've got quite a selection. Come with me. She takes you out to one of the racks out here in the front, and you see some of them are just goat skin ones. You've got your cow skin ones, and then these other ones that they have little the weavings on them. They've got little gold embroidery on them. Whatever.
Okay, I'm not going that fancy, but I'll just take like 2 water skins.
Okay, that'll be. And she takes her abacus out. That'll be 6 silver, please.
Okay, 6 silver.
And this week she hands
Can I
you.
go ahead and grab a water skin too, please?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Or do you from which end of the spectrum are you purchasing from?
I would like not the low end, but not the high end, and just a little bit bigger than what I have.
Okay. So these, and mind you, these each are roughly about 4 pints of liquid. How much they would do, and if you fill it with water, they're about 5 pounds roughly.
Okay.
She'll say for a mid-grade one for this, yeah, that'll be 3 silver pieces.
All right, I give her the money.
Okay. So she takes the money. She gives you your satchel. Always a pleasure doing business with you guys, and so she puts it in her pouch.
Hey, Lenine,
Yes.
what would you give me for this quarterstaff here?
Quarterstaff. Let me have a look. She takes it from you. She kind of hefts it in her hand, spins it around, is looking at it. Oh, this is quite fine. And she takes her little eyepiece out to give it a closer look. And it looks like this is very well made and very, very light. As far as how much this particular piece might cost you... Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. Go the other direction. Other direction. Did I do this one here? It says, I believe I can wager about 7 gold pieces for it. Understanding that I do need to make a profit.
That sounds fair to me.
Okay. And here you go. And she takes out 7 gold pieces, hands it to you, takes the staff. She puts it behind the door in her back storeroom. What else do you have? Becca stepped away for a second. Then...
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Okay, you're good. Aurora, did you have anything you want to sell?
No, I don't have anything.
I hand 2 gold pieces to each person. The group, you know, I kind of feel that it was rewarded between all of us.
Oh, thank you.
So I split it 2 each. I keep 1 to myself to even my gold pieces out.
Okay. Venvina, did you have anything?
Yeah, I do have a hand crossbow.
Oh, let me have a look. She pulls it out and she said, "Oh, this seems, you know, pretty standard issue. Look at this." A moment. Pulls out a scroll. She's looking at it, going through.
I'm also
scanning.
going to take this opportunity to back out so I can go get my go to the miners' exchange while everybody else is just
Okay. We're going to
getting
pull
ready.
out.
Yep.
Now, is this the hand crossbow? Just the hand crossbow? Okay. So, well, let's see here. And it looks like this is when she kind of pulls it back, tests the trigger, making sure everything's working. Well, it seems in relatively good condition. It's a little beat up, but I could give you a good 50 gold pieces for it.
Oh my goodness.
Woo.
Yep, you can sure have that.
Thank you. And as soon as she, you get it from her, she hands you the gold pieces. She sticks it in the back and she says, "We wouldn't want those, falling in the wrong hands. Those."
Right, that's why I picked it up along our travels.
And I won't ask where you got it, and you don't have to tell me. So.
What kind of shields do you have?
Oh, shields.
I currently have. It's like +1 or something.
Oh, let's have a look. And she goes in the back. She pulls back a couple different bucklers. Some of them different varieties. Most of them seem to be. She obviously had some of these wooden bucklers. She has a couple of them back there that are not. Close my window. Why did I close my window? Second. She pulls back different things coming out. Most of these shields, as far as what's there, she doesn't have anything that is the +1 or +2 or any of that kind of stuff. But these shields, she has a couple of them. They range from just your standard wooden buckler to one that's a little bit more of a kite shield type variety. And any of these suit your fancy. We've got some metal ones.
What are the AC increases that they do?
That's +2.
Okay, that's what I currently have.
And
yeah, all shields are pretty much the same, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, and actually, Roland, I did have a set of chainmail that I was holding for you.
Yeah, that's right. I did have a set of chainmail.
Yeah, I just realized. I'm like, oh, I got a lot of weight on me. That's why.
I'm going to say that as far as my character goes, you guys probably left the extra armor and weapon that I had picked up from the hobgoblins behind, just for sake of brevity. I don't want to have to take too long with the shopping thing. I think that's a reasonable assumption that you took off as much weight as possible without getting rid of Roland's actual gear.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But if you want to try and sell that, you can. And then
okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's sell this chainmail and then I'm good.
So you hand it over to her. She kind of holds it over in her hands. The coif of the chainmail just kind of falling back and forth, kind of looking at it. She's inspecting, looking for broken links and things. Kind of looks it back and forth, upside down. It seems in okay repair. There's a little bit of a problem with some of these seams. I could give you 30 gold for this one.
Okay, take it away.
Hey, thank you. So she's gonna go ahead and she counts out the money, hands it to you. And it's always a pleasure doing business. One moment, so I'll put this in the back. And she kind of walks in the back, puts it on one of the standing mannequins back there. Not mannequin, but you know what I'm talking about, like a armor stand.
apparently armor is where it's at.
Yeah, but it's super heavy. Like
Yeah, it was
20 pounds.
55 pounds.
55. Wow.
No, 55. I was carrying a lot.
Yep, 55 pounds. Well, is anything else I could do
see
for
all
today?
the stuff that you're carrying?
So if you're on D&D Beyond, you go to your equipment section, and it's under Manage, and you want to click on the inventory slot, and you can see all this different stuff in your inventory.
Yep. Perfect. Did you guys have anything else? Hold on, Sophia's distracting Lenfina.
Nope, sorry.
Okay.
I'm done.
So Roland leaves. You guys kind of conclude your business there as you're kind of chatting back and forth. Roland slips out, heads over to the Fandalin's Miners Exchange. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. So you kind of stroll up in the familiar. You see kind of the hustle and bustle. Being in the middle of the afternoon, you got a couple of guys who are just kind of hanging out outside on the benches. Some of which look like they are better dressed than others. Some of them seem to be gemsmiths. Some seem to be miners themselves. A lot of kind of in and outs. No particular familiar faces as you approach the building.
Good day, friends. I was just hoping that somebody might be heading south and could carry a message or two for me.
Oh, and you kind of see most of them kind of looking around and kind of go back on their business. But you feel a little tug on your sleeve from your side. A little boy, blonde hair, came up to you, tugged on your sleeve, and he got there so quickly it was kind of eerie that he was just standing there, and he kind of stares at you.
Hi. Can I help you?
You have a message, sir?
A pair of messages, actually. Are you the messenger?
Oh, I'm the fastest one around.
How far do you go?
Well, that depends on how far your money will take me.
And looking at him, getting a closer look, this boy is not a boy. He seems to be a gnome.
Oh, I apologize. You weren't speaking French.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It was not French.
Well, I have a pair of messages. One to a place called Pony Hill. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes, I've heard of it a few times.
All right. There is a small farm. Just ask for the Greenfield farm.
Okay.
And if you could deliver this message to them, and I hand him the first letter.
Okay.
And he says, all right, well, how quickly would you like it there?
It's really not any sort of pressing matter. Just when it gets there, I suppose.
All right. Sounds good. Well, my going rate. He kind of takes it and he says, if I can get it I can get it there immediately. Or I can walk it there, but I have someone deliver it for you, but it does cost a little bit more if you'd like. I can get it to him right now if you'd like.
Oh no, I mean
Are
that sounds
you
fine.
Sure. And you have these little dancing lights that he's like, I can get it there quickly.
And how much would that cost?
Oh, only 2 gold pieces.
That's actually not too bad.
I find it very reasonable.
Okay, what about a message to Waterdeep?
Waterdeep, it depends on where.
There should be a Temple of Gond, and I show him the symbol on my shield as kind of a reference. I just needed to get to the acolytes there, please.
Well, I know the place. Unpleasant fellows, but all right. And that one's going to cost you 6 gold.
What about just hand delivering that one, not mystically delivering it?
And I don't know if I want to go there. All right. Well, how about 5 gold?
Okay, if there's only a gold discount, I'm gonna just pay for the instant delivery. All right, so going to pay him a total of 8 gold.
Okay, so he takes the gold. He kind of bites one of them, looks at it a little bit, puts it in his pouch. And says, all right, and it takes the messages in your hand.
Chips tooth.
Chips tooth. He kind of takes it. Again, looking at him, he's your typical gnome variety. He kind of takes his hands. He's about half your height, looking at you, and he says, you kind of see his mouth move slightly. Just really kind of what seems like in slow motion, almost like you're watching it in slow motion, but you hear these words. It's and then suddenly, poof! The scrolls disappear out of his hand. Well, it's a pleasure doing business with you. If you have any other messages to courier, I'd be more than happy to help.
Absolutely. Thank you for your help.
Indeed. What's that over there?
I am foolish enough to fall for this. So yes, Roland looks over there.
Okay, and then you just hear a P. You look back and he's gone.
Huh. Strange little man. And then I'm going to stand up and walk back to the coster, hopefully as everybody's coming outside.
Okay. As you take a step, you actually trip over a seemingly invisible gnome. He's just standing there. And he kind of busts it off. You see kind of a thing. He kind of takes in a breath as you step on his foot. And then you go on your way. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to just mutter about the eccentricities of gnomes.
Perfect. You rejoin your companions. You guys are all together now. You finish. Upon leaving, Lynn, says, now take care and make sure and let everyone know that if you need anything to come to Lion Shield Coster, unless you up to no good, then just stay wherever you are.
You got it. We come out and see Roland come in, and I since the group's here, I'm like, you guys ready to hit the trail?
Yep.
Let's go.
As you guys are pulling together, it is now getting waning into probably 4 or 5 in the afternoon. But you do see a cart being pulled through town with the chains, and you hear the ting, ting, and it kind of lazily going back and forth as these large horses are pulling this cart with large like wagon wheel. What do you want to call it? Like a cross-country wagon, in other words, pulling. And inside, you see a familiar face of Glassstaff. And a couple other guys you don't really recognize, but they start pulling, and he kind of looks over at you guys and doesn't really make any facial changes as they pull him out down south through to the south, down towards through the miners' trail. You guys are able to go. He sees your gaze and he just keeps staring at you, just completely devoid of emotion.
Is this journey about a day's time or 2 or what?
Going back over here. So here you can see out each one of these little tiles. My map. 1 hex is 5 miles. So from here it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 60, 55, 70, 75 miles roughly to Thundertree. If you take the high road, that would be going.
Do you travel quicker on the high road?
No, it'll be. I mean, it would be okay. It's the long cut, if you will. You could, if you wanted to attempt to go through the Neverwinter Wood, you could go there. But having been there before, you know that it could be a little treacherous. But you could take a shortcut. There's always a shortcut. Just depends on how quickly you want to get there.
How far can we travel in a day?
Looking at this. It depends on what pace you're going to do. You can do 30 miles in let's see. If you're doing it in 1 full day, it's 30 miles going fast, 24 miles going normal, or 18 miles going slow.
Do we decide how fast we're going?
That's up to you. So like if you're stealthing, you're going slow. If you're going normal, you're just walking, that's fine. If you're going fast on foot,
And again, this is all on foot. This is not including like if you were to use horses or otherwise.
Are there horses we could get?
There are. This town is a miner's town.
Do you guys want to look at getting some horses, or
You know,
should we just
Barthen's
go on foot?
Provisions would probably have some because you guys dropped a cart off with at least one. But that was
Sure.
Mark's.
I think horses would make the journey a lot easier.
All right.
So we go to Barthen's Provisions.
Oh, look who it is! Welcome, welcome. How have you been?
It's been.
I hear. I'm mighty glad that you are able to find Gundren. I appreciate you going out of your way. I know that wasn't something you were required to do, but I think you guys are all the better for it. So I thank you very much.
It's no trouble.
So, what can I do for you today?
Well, we're looking for some horses.
Horses, you
Off
say?
On our next adventure.
Oh, perfect. Well, I've got a couple here. What are you looking for? You're looking for... And he kind of names off these different horses. You see that he's got some paints, he's got some bays, he's got some just different variety of horses in the stables to the side.
Since I am a farm boy,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to do I know which horses would be best?
Do a animal handling check for me, please.
Oh, good, because I'm so good at that. Oh, yes, I am so good at that.
Nice.
Oh, very nice. So yeah, you're looking at you're inspecting them, you're looking in their mouth, you're kind of checking their shoes, seeing what different things. Most of these horses are work grade horses. They aren't necessarily your racing horse. They're meant to pull carts and other things. That being said, without a load, you know that this lot of horses is a good lot. There's probably 8 or 9 of them in this area, different colors. And if you guys do choose to buy one, you can choose what color it is, or rent it. There's also, like I said, you don't have to buy them. If you do buy them, there are stable costs, all that kind of things involved. But
Is there different
He walks around.
quality of horses, or no, they're all horses a horse?
Of course.
horse is a horse.
All right.
So I come back over and I say, there's several very good options among these beasts. They're not really meant for riding, but they all look like they're pretty calm in demeanor.
Mm-hmm. Mostly draft horses. There's maybe 1 or 2 that could be considered a riding horse as far as that, but
I look at the proprietor and I say, what is the rental fee on one of your?
let's see. How far are you trying to go? And how long?
We're heading to Thunder Tree Ruins. It should take us just a few days to get there and back.
Thunder Tree. Where's Thunder Tree?
It's up north near Neverwinter.
Okay. No, Neverwinter. Okay. Let's see. Kind of counting on his fingers, and if you want to go here and do that, let's see. I need to do a little math here real quick. How many feet in a mile? Quick, pop quiz.
It's like 5,000 something or other.
5,280 feet.
5,280 feet. Actually, this is all in there, so yeah, it's 4 feet. Going to do. Oh, there it is. Okay, so they do have it in feet. So this guy looks like if you were to take a couple of these horses, you know, most of these could probably, if you're trying to get there in a leisurely pace, you could get there. You know, the end. To give you guys the math, it's about 40 feet for a draft horse, 60 feet for a riding horse. Knowing that they could get there, that's 400 feet. Feet in a day. We are talking about how many did I say this is?
55 miles, if we want to cut through.
And this 55 miles. This is how many feet? Or I don't like getting in the minutia of this kind of stuff. But...
Well, if I figure it's going to be about 2 days of on foot. A horse would probably be maybe like just about a day.
So if you guys are going to be there a day and you bring it back, and normally if you'd like to buy one of these, it's going to cost you a pretty penny, probably about 60 gold. But if you're going to rent it for the day,
whoa, 60?
60 gold, yes.
No, I'm sorry. A draft horse is not more than 60. Like, that's ridiculous.
All right.
Well, you know, we've got some of these that are lower grade horses. These any kind of let's just steal them. They're not quite as fast, but you know, I 55 gold for if you want to purchase these. If you're wanting to rent them for the day or two, we're looking more in, you know, 10, 15 gold. That'll include the bridle, the and this is per horse, mind you.
Just a moment, and I take my people off to the side and I say, this guy deals with miners all day. He must think that we're kind of the same type of people and don't know much about horses. They're definitely not worth that much to buy outright, but the price for renting them seems pretty fair.
Then rental sounds fine to me. We wait to buy horses when we get a better deal.
Okay. So I'll go back and I'll say, how much was it again? 15, you said?
That'd be per horse. If you're going to do it in a group discount, you know, maybe I'll give you. I could give you 10% because you guys have helped so much here.
Oh, thank you. So yes, 4 horses, please. And I point at 4 of the ones that I think are quite. They're not the best. I don't want to, you know, cheat him out of his best stock, but they're fair quality.
Okay. So each of you, you can mark down that you have a horse in your inventory. And he pulls out some papers and he says, you know, these are the rental agreements and different things. You know, make sure you have it by this date. And he just kind of goes through just real quick. And he says, you know, I trust you for your word, but, you know, I always say that you know, it's much easier to deal with people, you know, once you know how to deal with them on paper. So.
Yes, of course.
Right now, you guys are back here with the stables near Barthen's home.
I'm going to turn to the party and I'm going to kind of wince a little bit and be like, I'm sorry, does somebody have 3 gold that they can lend me? I'm literally 3 gold short.
Oh, well, should we all just pay for each horse?
Yeah, I think just paying, so altogether it would be 60 gold with a 10% discount, so it'd be about 54.
Yep, 54 gold total multiplied by 4.
So about 13 gold, 5 silver each.
Yep.
Oh, in that case, I only need 2 gold.
I got you.
All right, well, here, and he draws up the stuff. He gives it, and he kind of whistles. Hey, you boys, come in here. You see these couple of young, strapping young men. Seem to be the stable boys. Get these rigged up, ready to go right away. So you see them. They take the feed bags off them. They brush them down really quick. They put the saddles on them. Put the bridles on. And after probably about 10 minutes, they've got all the horses completely geared out, ready to go. Well, is there anything else I can do for you today?
That should be everything. Thank you so much for your assistance.
Absolutely, and let anyone know if they need a good horse or anything else. The Barthen's Provision's the place to go.
Right.
Thanks, Bar.
My pleasure. And at this point, you guys are able to grab the horses. You head up the north to the Tribal Trail, unless you have anything else in the town.
I'm good. Ready to hit the road.
Yep.
Okay. So as you guys are heading north, you guys leave through the Tribal Trail. Explain to me, I guess, how you're wanting to proceed.
I'm a fan of the shortest path, but would we be able to find our way there? Do we have that map with us?
No, she showed him the map, but
she just showed us.
She's just kind of pointing it out, saying that you needed to head north.
Everything that I was looking at with the map is basically it's near the forest and the river. I think if we just kind of follow the trail on the same north and skirt maybe about a mile away from the actual forest itself, we should be able to just get there.
Keep the forest in sight and keep it on our right side.
Yep.
Okay.
I like it.
I mean, if Clandon saw the map too, you're probably going to be our best tracker in that case, and kind of our best trailblazer, our best pathfinder. Oh.
Womp womp.
And then actually, so Roland, he hasn't been on a horse in a while, and it's a very good feeling for him. So as we're going along, Roland is, I'm going to be at the head of the group, just kind of well, the head with Clandon, just like the two of us together.
Okay.
And I'm going to be whistling a tune that I heard in the tavern about several heroes in a town way far to the south called Greenest.
Nice.
Absolutely. So as you guys are coming out, if everybody can do an animal handling check for me.
This is going to be bad. Yeah, not bad. I'm good at handling animals. Oh, Aurora, you might want to call your panther too.
Oh yeah, I do that.
Okay. So you on the way out, you're kind of passing that inn. You hear kind of that whistle. You see expectantly the cat. I got to get the picture because this is gonna make more sense.
Breaks through the window.
This kitty cat. Where's the gif? Come on, come on, come on. Here it is.
This is gonna be good, I can tell.
Okay, click that. Nope, wait, that doesn't have the kitty cat. Here it is. Here's the one with the kitty cat. Second one. You see this cat looking in the window, this large panther, just really expectantly waiting. And then as you pass, you do that little Percy face at him, and you see Tiger Lily bound out the window. She kind of hits the tree bough swings a little bit, she lands on the ground deftly with her feet and comes running up. Again, everyone that was kind of walking along the sides of the road make a path for this large cat that just come barreling through. But seeing that they're with you, the excitement quickly settles down, people are laughing. You go out, you get out onto the open road. You guys head to the north.
On the road again.
You guys, on this very familiar path onto the Tribor Trail, you get here to the crux of it, and you're starting to head off to the north along the side here. Are you guys going, what kind of pace are you guys trying to keep? Are you keeping a full gallop?
I would say normal pace. We're in no rush.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't want to tire the horses out.
Okay, so you guys are going, you're kind of clapping along, saddlebags kind of swinging in the wind. You get there, and about here near the Cragmaw Castle, you don't see the map, but you hear...
It's nighttime at this point, right?
Yeah, you're hitting in the twilight hours.
We woke up late, though.
Remind me, Clandon and Aurora, what was your favorite enemy again?
Dragons.
So, Clandon, you probably noticed this quicker than anyone else, that the birds stopped chirping. As far as all the normal stuff that you would expect to hear just stops, and silence. And as you do so, you hear a sound in the distance. And upon looking around, go ahead and do an investigation check for me. You can all do an investigation. At this point, you guys are all noticing it. Go ahead and do an investigation. Clandon, you can do it with advantage.
I didn't need it.
Okay. So, Clandon, your ears perk up
Where do
immediately.
I find my favorite enemy?
I think it'll be on D&D Beyond at the very least.
So D&D Beyond features, class features, and it should have, one of the listings should say favorite enemy.
You would have picked one, right?
Or actually, it might be under limited use class features, but I'm not sure for Rangers.
Yeah. Usually, so when you click on it, yeah, it'd be like class features, you expand it, and then favorite enemy. I want to say it's in that section. Either way, I think you guys all rolled pretty high. What did you roll on yours, Aurora?
I got 20.
And I got
She
20.
didn't roll.
I think pretty much everybody kind of hears it at this point, pending Aurora's
Oh, what was I rolling for?
investigation. It was basically, the check was to see if you would get advantage on it or not. But I want to say yours was against fiends or something. Yes, everybody hears it. You hear that stifling silence, and the air around you just kind of sits still, like everyone's holding their breath. Even the trees stop creaking for a moment, and you hear this, as it flies over you, you see these large leathery wings of a green dragon flying almost to the point at which it could take you off of your saddle. Comes down and just at this lets out a screech right above your head and comes and dives back up as it goes off into the distance in front of you, heading north towards Thunder Tree. At this point,
holy crap!
Do one more investigation check. Anyone who has dark vision.
Elves.
All right,
I'm
Climber.
not rolling good tonight.
I'm excited now.
Aurora, you didn't quite see it. Venfina, your horse is pulling around and whinnying and just you're trying to get control of your horse again. But at this point, Clandon, you do see, as he flies back, a familiar tabard of a Dragonborn hanging from a part of the claw of this dragon as it whooshes over your head.
A what of a Dragonborn?
Tabard. It's like
Tabard.
it's like his clothes. We'll just say
Okay.
part of his clothes.
Guys, I think that dragon was carrying a Dragonborn.
A tabard's kind of like a tunic, kind of.
So do I see just clothes? Or
You see scraps of clothes that you recognize to be Balasar's.
But just the clothes, right?
Just the clothes flapping, kind of like it's caught on its leg.
Guys, I think had Balthazar's clothes in its claws, or parts of his clothes.
They look pretty ragtag from what you can see.
I don't know if we should pursue as quickly at night, but it looked like it was heading north, didn't it?
Yeah, in the same direction as we're heading.
You start noticing as you guys have been heading north that the trees and the things that normally were very verdant and green are starting to become more withered or more just like sickly.
Uh-oh. We should at least vacate this area if the dragon passed over here and.
What if Balthazar is where he took off from?
As far
It's
as
a
the way,
possibility.
yeah, and this is, if you guys remember, when Balthazar disappeared, it was down here.
I had forgotten about that.
That's also where, to remind you, that's also where your resident druid disappeared. Just before, well, he didn't disappear from the dragon, but after the dragon. That's where he parted ways.
Well, should we go check out the forest, or does that look too intimidating? And should we just go after the dragon? And
I think we need to. I say we follow the dragon.
let's follow the dragon.
If we only saw his clothes, then maybe he's in the woods hiding because he's naked.
Do you have any more cloaks on you?
I did find I have a blanket in my freeze pack.
Apparently, this DM has a fixation with naked people.
Apparently. Don't we all though? Let's. Okay, I agree with that logic. Actually, if we want to go check the forest.
Yeah, hopefully we'll find a wolf too, and hopefully the owl bear didn't kill our wolf druid when he killed those wolves the other day.
You'll never know.
So I wheel around and start heading towards the forest.
Okay, so the horses get more uneasy. The more steps that you kind of take towards the forest and things, that you can tell that there's a creeping tension. The sounds of the forest start to return as the actual dragon continues on its way. Let's see, forest. Trying to get that back up. I don't like this. It's making me uneasy, guys. Making me uneasy.
I cast Divine Sense before we enter.
Perfect. So as you're kind of going through, you start to hear the pitter-patter of rain as clouds start to accumulate over the area.
I also want to cast Primeval Awareness.
Okay. Go ahead and cast Primeval Awareness. Go ahead and click it so that way I have the description, please.
Dang it, I don't have that one ready in D&D. Give me a second.
No worries.
Or I mean,
And then Vamfina said she casted Divine Senses
Okay.
as well.
All right. So you go ahead and you're kind of looking around. See Divine Sense. We got the other one. And you click it as well. Click on the name.
I don't have it in my spell slot. Do I have to have it there first?
No, you should be able to just click on it in the other place as well. Like wherever it's listed, you should be able to click just on the name and it should show up in the chat. As for Vamfina, as you cast it, the feeling that you get here is that the further north.
So it's a feature. It's not really a spell. Is there a difference there?
A feature for your class?
Yeah.
It shouldn't. Because it's just I mean, if it's just a description, you should be able to just click on it.
Okay.
Does that work? Roland, I'm getting you back on the map. There you go.
Am I big again? No, I'm regular. Okay.
He's huge.
What is the class that, or what are we looking at here for Clandon?
So Clandon is looking at his Primeval Awareness, which I believe it's in a certain mile radius.
It's 1 mile.
Here, I'll click on your guy and look at
That's
it.
a lot more than mine.
Yeah, ours is pretty limited.
Yeah.
It's like 60 feet.
So with Vamfina's, I'll just start with yours. So as you're walking into the forest, you start noticing just tinges of necrotic energy that are just lingering in the area. You don't sense any immediate danger in this. Right here, you guys are about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way up there when this is kind of getting deeper into the night. And it's probably closer down to here. But you are seeing that there are some kind of effects that are happening to this landscape that are not natural effects. You don't sense any immediate danger within a 60-foot radius, but that is something that's there. Clandon, you feel that presence that was flying right past you guys. You can feel it slipping further and further into the distance. And after about, I don't know, a couple of minutes, you feel it slip off the radar entirely. So you know that this dragon that you've seen has gone further beyond your knowledge, but he was heading north.
Okay, but nothing else.
Nope. As far as that, because it tells you that what it is and what direction it's going, right? Or where it's at within a mile.
No, it just tells me of their presence.
Yes, the presence slips away after a short period because it's further than a mile than where you're at. But where you guys are in this particular thicket of the woods, you're looking around with the rain and some of the light water and things in the area. The tracks that would normally be pretty easy to find, you guys go ahead and roll me a survival check and see if you guys can find any hint of human life that's been rolling around in here. Okay.
Roland around in here?
Roland around. How about yours, Clandon? Vamfina, you look around. You see some different things. You see some scat from animals. It's kind of hard. It's really hard with all the rain and things. Roland, you're not really sure what to look for, so you're just kind of walking around, acting like you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's dark. I can't see much.
Clandon, you're too kind of fixated on the idea of just wanting to go and find this dragon. Like, this dragon has flown over you.
I really like dragons.
And Aurora, as you're looking around, you do see just different pieces. You see the forest, the flora and fauna, and you recognize that, you know, there's boot prints and things that you're finding that are starting to wash away. These boot prints don't seem to be characteristic of a Dragonborn. but they are a characteristic of goblins or of hobgoblins that have trounced through the area. And when you're kind of looking through different thickets of the wood, you do find a tuft of hair that you recognize to be similar to that of a direwolf. And the direwolves in this area are pretty scarce, so you know that is pretty... It's not very normal for that sort of thing to be found in this particular part of the Neverwinter Wood.
Hey, I found some hair over here. It looks like it could be our direwolf. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. What?
What time of year is it? Is what I asked.
This time of year, you're creeping. Putting that down. You're creeping from just past summer. You're creeping into the August, getting into a little bit chillier parts of the year.
Okay, so he shouldn't be losing hair, in other words.
And from the thicket that you're pulling it off of, it just looks like, as far as your summations of what's happening, is that he was moving through here quickly.
It's not like he was shedding his coat or anything.
It looks like he was running from something and it snagged on this tree over here.
I don't like where this is going.
The rain and the storm starts to pick up even further.
Do we continue on?
Yeah, I think we have to.
All right.
Let's keep following. Like, continue on. Sorry, I meant continue on after our friends, or continue on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should keep going through after our friends in here.
Okay.
Okay.
So you guys go ahead, and as you're looking through here, the areas that you're walking in are getting heavier and heavier, thick with mud, sticking to your shoes and other things. You're continuing to look. How long does the primeval awareness last? Landon?
Looking at it lasts for 1 minute.
Okay. So you guys are, again, just walking around. You're looking at these different things. You see heavy footfall of a large direwolf. As you continue to look for this, it is heading north.
In the forest, through the forest?
Through the forest. You see a pretty... I mean, he's pretty good at hiding his footfall and where he's moving, but you guys are able to navigate it. It's a lot harder to move through the trees and the thick brushes and things with the horses, who are also becoming a little skittish. So if you want to do an animal handling check.
I'm thoroughly annoyed with not being able to do that. Click on that thing to make it.
Yeah. I'll see if we can figure it out. So, Vinfina, you're having struggles with your horse. It's impeding your progress to kind of move forward. Again, it's just with the nature of the trees, the horses, they're getting a little skittish, not being able to see where they're walking. Clandon, your horse...
Two in a row, come on!
Your horse, as it's kind of walking along a place, it hears something that spooks it. And at this point, it's starting to rear. If you can make a strength check to see if you can kind of hang on to the bucking horse. Everyone else, again, your horses are just basically just being obstinate, just being hard to handle as far as they're used to pulling carts. They're not really used to being in unfamiliar thickets. 9 strength. Clandon, you're bucked off.
Dang it. Does it take off or?
So as you do it, it's mostly just kind of frenetic and it's kind of moving back and forth. But because this area is just really thick with underbrush and overgrowth, even the verdant trees again becoming more kind of slimy and more just necrotic.
Hey guys, I think we might want to leave the horses here.
Agreed. Mine is getting unruly.
That kind of hurt a little bit.
No bludgeoning damage though. That's good.
Thank goodness. Just a little bruise.
So you guys can continue with the horses. You can, and mind you, at this point in time, you guys are pushing
How thick are the trees?
10 o'clock with this investigation in the evening. Thick of the trees, we're talking, think, the trees themselves, think like Mirkwood, or like in Lord of the Rings with the spiders and the Hobbit. It's very thick. It's just like thorny, and you can see through some places. There's a little bit of haze in other places. There's kind of boggy.
So if we set up a camp, we'd burn the trees down, or can we find a clearing to set up camp?
At this point, you guys have moved a little bit into the woods. You could push a clearing out. You wouldn't get like a huge area, but you could.
Let's just make a little spot for the horses and continue on.
Okay. So you tether your horses. The horses are basically kind of there. Where are you going? What are you trying to look for?
We're trying to follow the trail of the dire wolf.
Okay.
And I tell Roland, I'm like, stay close. We can see, but I know you can't see very well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yes, that's quite true. And I just like clasp his shoulder.
So the only light that you're getting at this point is from the flashes of the lightning and the thunder. The moon is all but covered from this large, heavy rainfall. As you're moving forward, you're reaching out and holding them. Most of what you guys can see, those who do have dark vision, is not. You don't see color. You're seeing more in value from what you can see. And is it 60 feet? Is that right? That you guys can see in forward?
Something like that.
Okay.
Are you talking about
Yes. All right. So, as you're walking along, dark vision, we got the toilet first, right side, 60 feet, yes.
Dang, I should have picked up light as a cantrip. Oh well.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. We're using the wrong one. One moment. Alright. One more. Alright, so you guys are walking around. You hear the fluttering sound of wings. You hear the it's kind of like a pigeon or a what do you call those, quail flying around, hearing the snapping of the sticks and things as you guys continue to move forward. And Clandon, as you do so, something comes up and latches to the back of your neck.
Oh no!
Don't got me!
1 second, and that thing.
I know what this is. Oh, gee.
It's a Nopik!
It eats your brains. I'm getting it here. No. Okay, so as you're standing there, you feel this thing. You hear the and then and the thick wrapping wings of something that basically it feels kind of like a bird has landed on your neck, but you feel a sharp piercing pain on the back of your neck.
It's a baby dragon.
And do wait, it's 1d4 plus 3. There you go. You take 4 piercing damage.
That's just rude. Why is it always me?
I cast protection. If it actually damaged him.
Okay. Yes, it did actually damage him. So go ahead and protection does what to him? Disadvantage? Okay, so you do it, and let's roll this again. We'll see which one's lower. I rolled a natural 20.
Holy crap.
Oh, jeez.
Still hit.
Yep. So he still hits.
Good try, Vin. Yeah, thank you.
But Clandon, you do feel this thing, and the people as you're kind of sifting through here. Roland, you were in the front, right?
Yeah, I was next to Clandon.
All right, so you're next to Clandon. Venfina and Aurora, since you guys are comprising the rear of this, you're both elves, so you do see this. You see this outline and shape of a. Do a animal check for me, Aurora, with advantage.
Animal handling or nature?
Nature, I'm sorry.
Can I roll for her since she had to step away? We should have the same.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Dang it, sorry.
It's all good. So 7. I'm sorry, not animal handling. Nature check. Benfina, you also need to do a nature check.
Oh, sorry.
And do it with advantage, please, Clandon. This is basically going to see if you recognize the creature or not. All right, she has 16. Benfina, you're not sure what it is. It looks like a bat. But Aurora recognized this as a sturge.
Oh, I knew it. I mean, out of character, I knew it. In character, I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so everybody go ahead and roll me initiative. You do hear other flitting in the area. You hear more.
Careful, guys. There's more of them, and they like to bite.
And Clandon, I'll also point out that it is latched onto you.
Like with its feet.
It is latched onto you. It's got its think of it like a tick. It's got its nose buried in your neck.
Oh man, it's a big mosquito.
Really big mosquito, yes. Okay, it's 9 for initiative.
God,
Here, I'll
I
go
forget how
roll
to do
for
this
Sarah.
every single time. How do I roll initiative for myself again?
Click on your person and hit initiative.
Oh, okay. I click on the person and then okay.
Yep.
That didn't work. Oh wait, okay, it did.
You.
Oh man.
Okay, so what he's doing, basically, you feel it draining the blood from the back of you. If you want, you can try and use your action to try and detach it, but it's grappled onto you. It's not impeding your movement, but it is grappled onto you.
Can I use a dagger to try to stab it?
You could, but it's on your back, so you do it with disadvantage if you were to try that. Because you're basically trying to... you can't see it. You're just swinging it to stab yourself in the back of the neck.
Alright, okay. Instead of doing that, since I don't want to just stupidly stab at it like that, and I can feel it on my neck, right? I just want to kind of try to detach it. Can I do something like that? Like almost like taking the blade up along my back or something?
You could try that, yeah. Go ahead and roll an attack. If you roll a natural 1, you're going to shave your neck.
Dang it.
I need me chills.
And as you're doing this, as you're trying to pull it out, you hear more... getting closer and closer.
Well, what does Aurora, does she tell us anything about what she knows about this creature?
He's just not going
I just walked in. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
I know.
All right, so I'm gonna give. So you know, Aurora, this thing is basically a cross between a large bat and an oversized mosquito. Its legs have sharp pincers and long needle-like proboscis, which is basically its nose, and it feeds off the blood of living creatures. You know, these guys usually end up in areas. They're kind of like carrion birds. They're things that go and try and they're parasites, essentially. Live off
Do
of
I know
everything.
how to get him off of Steve without killing Steve or Clandon?
You know that just like any other animal, you want to just try and best you can get it the proboscis. Am I saying that wrong? Proboscis, whatever. Its nose. So basically, you want to try and get its nose out. Otherwise, it could get infected or something. But there's no like, aside from just having the strength contest of trying to get it off is really the only thing you're gonna have trouble with at all.
Okay, I
like
share
an
all
oversized
that
bat.
information with everybody.
Oh, and if you get bitten, you die. I'm just kidding. Just making Clan sweat.
Do you have a picture of it, or
I
because
do.
I have one if you
That
don't?
was a joke, right?
That you die? Yes, that was just a joke.
Yeah, we just got through with death.
See if that comes up for you.
Yep, that's what I thought. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's the one. And that was on the random roll table, so.
Ah,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So he's got this on his neck, Clandon. What are you doing? You roll your attack. That does not hit. You're kind of swinging around. You're just trying to get at it. But it still is firmly latched. Next, you hear another one. And then right upon Aurora. Aurora, you feel something bludgeon you from the side. If you can... Let's see if we're going to hit.
I'm gonna cast protection.
Didn't you just already did it?
Yeah, I don't know how it works though.
It's a reaction.
You
You can only
use your
do it once per...
reaction.
Okay, so that was Clandon's turn, and now it's another.
Yes. So this one does a 13 hit.
So my thing is a 13. So does that hit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dang it. Then
So,
yeah.
so you feel another, again, something else just come and just blindside you from the side. This time, this one seems to have latched itself onto your torso and has stuck its proboscis right under your ribs. And you feel it just draining some of your lifeblood. And you're going to take 4 plus. That'll be 4 damage. And that's piercing.
Glad I got those potions.
All right. So at that point, that surge is finished. You hear another... As another one comes, Clandon, one hits you right in the leg. Hits you, and he's attaching.
I would like to cast protection.
Seriously, always get attacked, Clandon. I'm so sorry.
Does a 10 hit?
Somebody has it out for me. No.
That was disadvantage, right? I'll roll it again.
Is
A
it
3.
bad for you?
You know, no. I talked to him about it off screen, and he said you're always in the front.
I just roll for these things, and whatever it goes for, it goes for.
When I'm
So
in the back, nothing ever happens.
the dice don't lie, man. The dice don't lie.
You must be in the rear to not get
So this other sturge come flying past, and this point you feel something smack your leg, but it doesn't quite get purchased, and you feel it just kind of off into the bushes. At this point,
Move out of here.
Clandon and Roland both get an attack of opportunity as it flies past you.
Oh,
Okay. Nice. As crappy as it is to say this, I probably have disadvantage on this attack because it's dark.
You're right. It is dark. You're correct. Thanks for being honest.
Come on, Karma.
All right, 12. 12 does not hit. As you're going past it and you swing, it kind of banks to the left and gets around the sword. What about you, Brandon? What are you hitting it with? You stub your dagger out?
Sadly, yes. I still got my dagger in the hand, so I'm pretty sure I have to react pretty quick. So I probably am just gonna throw my dagger at it.
Okay, are you going to throw it or are you going to try and stab it? It's within your striking distance. You don't
It's
necessarily have to
within
throw it.
striking distance. Then
Yeah.
I'll use my I'll just strike it then.
Okay, so as it's coming by, you swing. Go ahead and roll your attack. Yes, that does hit. Go and roll for damage.
Nice.
Okay, so how do you want it to die?
I just give it a nice wing clipping.
Okay, so as it flies past, Roland, he swings at it. Doesn't quite get it. It's, again, dark, kind of swinging wildly a little bit. And then Clandon, you pull your dagger and you swing, bringing it from behind you forward and clip the wing straight off. And you see it just kind of hit the ground and trying to flap one wing, and while it slowly bleeds out and then stops moving in the mud and muck at your feet. So that sturge has died. Venfina, Roland, you're on deck. Benfina, you see the one on the back of Clandon's neck, and you also see one on Aurora, who's next to you.
Oh, he only got the one off? Oh, good.
No, that's this one that tried to get me and it tried to fly away, so we attacked it. I still got the one on my neck.
Alright, I go for the one that I saw first, the one on his neck.
Okay. So you go ahead and stab at it. Make your attack. Are you using a sword, bolt, what?
Definitely not shooting him with crossbow.
Alright.
And
You insist.
Just use the glaive.
I have a dagger I could
Okay.
try to use.
I don't know.
I'm gonna try the glaive because it's a little bit of a distance.
Okay.
Careful, don't roll a 1. Nice.
Alright, a glaive does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. That kills it. How do you want it to die?
They cut it up in like 20 pieces.
Okay. So as you're just kind of stabbing at it like Clandon, you just feel the metal and you just hold still because you feel the metal just going shing 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 right next to your head. As just the proboscis or proboscis, whatever the freak is, the nose, the mouth, kind of still sticking out of your neck, and you just kind of feel this little.
Yeah, I reach back there and just kind of pull that out.
You feel the warm trickle of blood on the back of your neck, but you are no longer attached by this person. Roland, it is your turn. Aurora, you're on deck.
So I'm gonna walk up over to Aurora and I'm gonna say, hold still.
This
And
might tingle.
And then I'm going to cast Word of Radiance, which is a cantrip that I have. And the divine word is ceased.
Okay.
So burning radiance erupts from you. Each creature of your choice that you can see within range, which is 5 feet of me. So I'm just choosing the one Sturge.
Okay.
You must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 radiant damage.
All right, and what's
And
the?
it is 11, unfortunately, is just the spell save.
Okay, and that is for Constitution, you said?
Yes.
So this has got a +0, so let's roll. D20. Come on.
As basically this arc of lightning comes off of my hand.
7. So it does not succeed, and at this point you just reach out with this damage, and you see this arc as it flies through the air, and as it hits the one that's on Aurora's side. And Aurora, you just see this brief flash of light, and feel the heaviness that was once attached to your side just fall limp and just to ash to the ground. Just puff. You're still hearing, but you don't seem to have anything else in the immediate vicinity. What do you guys choose to do?
There's still one out there. You guys,
I look
everybody
up
see
and
it?
around to see if I can see it.
Okay. The thicket, the trees themselves, you're seeing very small slivers of the tree cover above, the water kind of pouring through. You see glimpses of a couple of different forms that are just kind of flying through the trees above you, but none of them are getting closer from where they're at. They're just kind of flying around.
I fear that if we go much further, we might not be able to only run into a couple of these things.
What kind of forest is this? Good grief.
They're not very strong, so I mean, if we just prepare for them, I don't know. I mean,
I wonder if they're afraid of fire or anything.
everybody got a torch?
I don't know if I can do actually.
I have candles
I have a candle too.
and incense.
You have, I assume you have flint or tinder to do it?
Yes. Yes.
I actually have a torch if we want to use a torch.
I think that'd probably be better than a couple candles.
I have 10
Yeah,
candles.
I think the
They're
can-
really small.
I'm not sure, but I think candles is like, what, a 10-foot radius, and then a torch is more like 30 feet that you can see.
So I down, grab torch out of my bag and use the tinder box and Can I do that now, or do I have to wait for my turn?
5-foot radius. Yep. So you can go ahead and do that. At this point, nothing's attacking you. We'll keep the turn order up.
All right, so
just for brevity.
I've got the torch going now.
Okay. You guys are stepping forward. What's the marching order? What are you guys doing?
I'll take point.
Clint, you should
Now that you want to see.
I can go second because I have a new thingy. I don't remember what it's called that I did last time.
You got a new thingy? Aw, congratulations.
Yeah, so when I use it, it ignores like cover.
Sharpshooter,
and
yes.
does extra damage when it hits.
I can take up the rear, and Clandon, I'll protect you.
So Roland's in front. Roland, go ahead and make me a perception check with disadvantage, please. Since it is dark. Wait, no, I'm sorry. It is at normal because you have a torch out. You're fine.
Okay.
So just as you're going through and you're walking through, you're seeing these different like places where there's
Ignore
large.
that.
Do you guys remember the scene?
They're the same.
That's perfect. Do you guys remember the scene in Lord of the Rings when Gandalf the White comes back? Do you guys remember that
Yes.
part?
No.
All the trees everywhere, and then they've got these thick, big roots and stuff. This is the kind of terrain you're kind of going through. You got some rocks here, rocks there. As you're kind of walking through, you're noticing that the above your head is just they're not getting any closer, but they're also not getting any further away as you continue. And as you step forward, you hear a familiar sound of it.
Nothing.
And at this point, you're going to. What's your passive perception, Roland?
My passive perception is 11.
An 11. Okay, so you notice this, and you remember it because it's been relatively recent. You recognize this sound of the Grick, if you recall. It is not too far off.
Everybody.
It's not too far off from where you're at.
Another one of those creatures that tried to.
The thing
make
that
love of
Benfina
Dora.
wanted to kill and Clandon said.
No,
that's
that's
the Nothic.
yeah, that's the Nothic. This is the thing that tried to mate with Dora Morland.
Yes.
Well, I actually don't know this one because I wasn't in that battle.
And that's
Correct.
true. Yeah.
So,
Where was that at?
Roland, you hear
Crackmoss.
this?
That was a cat.
Yeah, I was at the castle.
Oh yeah, I went to the
Yeah.
room below and was shooting behind
Yep,
it.
that's the one. So Roland, you hear this and you kind of halt everybody. This is coming over just to the northeast of where you're at, and you hear the sound of it's a beak coming together and the sound of just something very just. Obviously, it's wet. There's mud everywhere, but you hear it. It seems to be preoccupied with something.
I kind of motion for Clandon to lower the torch so that we're not getting as much light. And then I look at Aurora and I say, "Can you sneak over there and see what it's doing? It sounds like it's chewing on something."
Okay.
Yep. Go ahead and go make your survival check.
Maybe a stealth check?
Survival stealth, kind of a mix. Just because you're in. Is this your favorite terrain, by the way? Forest.
What is it?
The forest.
That one. Cheers.
Give me a sec.
Because I want to say this is your favorite terrain, which means you'd get advantage on these checks. Vehicles, land, martial weapons, favorite terrain, favorite enemy. Fiends, by the way, is your favorite enemy.
Where's the favorite terrain?
Natural mountain. Yours is in mountain. While traveling, difficult terrain does not slow your group's travel. You can't become lost except by magical means. So if you're in the mountains right now, you're not necessarily in the mountains. What's yours, Clandon? Just for future reference.
I think Underdark. Is that it?
Yeah, sounds about right. So you're going through, and Aurora, you're able to get through here with not a whole lot. Occasionally, your boot getting stuck in the mud as you pull it out, and you're trying to stick to the wood and things as much as possible. And you look down over this kind of grassy knoll where there's roots and other things in it, and a little bit of a mudslide. And at the bottom of this, you see a grick that is just kind of slithering and what have you, and it's choking something down. It's munching on it, and very similar to what you would see like a python trying to slowly ingest its prey. What looks to be from this perspective, it looks to be the legs of a deer or a stag of some kind.
Okay.
I wonder, why is Underdark my favorite terrain?
So, and it's going away.
Right now, it's not looking towards you. It's looking away from you and trying to swallow whatever it was munching on.
Okay. Then I think I'm gonna try and sneak back to Roland.
Okay, go ahead and do a stealth check. Don't worry about the survival check. Your survival check passed fine. You can find your way. Perfect. So you get back, knowing the way that you came and the places to avoid, soft spots, you're able to get back without being noticed.
Okay. Yeah, he's eating, it looks like a deer or something, a stag. He's just trying to swallow it right now.
Okay, well, I'm glad he's not eating a wolf or anything. That was my fear. Is there anything else that, like, this forest is getting more and more dangerous at the moment? Are we sure we want to continue on?
What was that roll?
Do I see anything around me?
Looking around, you still hear the fluttering of what you believe to be more sturge above you. But as far as what you're looking at, your visibility is limited to probably about 50 feet because of how thick this forest is. So as far as you're looking around, you don't see anything moving. Everything seems to have found where it's going to sleep for the night. You guys are pushing probably 11 o'clock in the evening.
We should probably leave the forest. This is not the right time to be in the forest. We can come back in the morning. If we want to rest, we can rest, or if we want to continue, away from the forest, heading towards Thunder Tree, I'm down for that as well.
Yeah, I think we should camp for the night. It's getting late and pretty dangerous in here.
Yeah, we should go back and get the horses too. I don't trust this forest not to be devouring them.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody who is navigating, go ahead and make me a survival check. See how well you make your way back.
Yeah. Navigator, please.
Navigator, make me a navigation.
I'm just following. I'm not trying to find my own way.
Well, we're all just turning about, right? And just
I've still got the torch going. But...
Yeah, you got the torch. You guys can see, I mean, with this heavier rain, because of the tree cover above you, it could be worse. A lot of your footprints and things would be washed away if it was anywhere out in the open. But from where you're at, you can see pretty clearly the sunken places where your boot has just left these ruts. Then Fina, especially yours
I'll be right
being really heavy plate mail, or not plate mail, but just a very heavy thing. So you guys make it back to your campsite. You start setting up camp. And is there anything that you guys want to do before turning in? You're able to find your horses.
Do we
No
exit
problem.
the forest?
If you guys would like to, yes,
I don't
you're
know
able
that
to
we
exit the
should,
forest.
since we get good cover from the rain right now.
Or in the deadly forest?
Right, but if we just stay on like the outskirts right there on the forest, then maybe we'll get the cover, but we won't get the creatures eating
Okay.
us.
Closer you are to danger, the further away you are from harm.
Says the DM.
As you're getting further out towards where the wet areas are, you start to notice the flittering and the fluttering get lower. The sturges themselves don't seem to like being out in the rain. But because when you were in the forest, it was a lot easier for them to make their way. So at this point, you guys are able to make camp. And we're going to go ahead and end it here for the night with the rain and the thunder and all the creepiness. And what's going to happen is I'll give you an epilogue of basically as you guys are making camp for the night, you again, you're tossing and turning in your sleep. It is kind of cold. It's wet. Your cloaks are meant to be traveled well in this type of environment, but it does start to sink into your bones and give you a little bit of a chill that you wouldn't otherwise have. You got the fire going, a small fire going. Everyone's able to get through the night. Roland, as he, Venfina and Aurora, Venfina, you find solace sleeping under a tree. I would assume one of your deity's trees.
Yep.
Yep.
Sure.
And then Aurora, you and Tiger Lily curl up and are able to stay warm, no problems through the night. Clandon, again, you have another night that's very similar to the last, where you kind of toss and turn a little bit. That feeling of being watched, and Roland actually has a similar dream, and that's where we're going to end it for tonight. I'll give you the details next time. So, good job,
Wonderful.
everyone. Good job.
That's good.
So, Town of Phandalin. We're going to go ahead, and I know that there wasn't any combat XP, but I like to also give a little XP for role playing, so we don't like just become murder hobos and whatever. So,
Yes, that'd be terrible.
you guys can if you want to. I just want to also reward you for good RP. We'll go ahead and give 150 XP per person for great stuff tonight, and you can maintain your. You should be able to maintain your inspiration for next time. So, I want to say last time everyone got it, you should be able to maintain it through the next thing. So, and we'll find out what happens.
Okay, so I'm at 3,500 or 3,566 for my XP. Is that what everybody else is kind of around? I know I came in a little bit late, so if you're higher, that's fine.
I'm
About that, yeah.
Mine's only at 33.93.
I'm at 3688.
What did you just give us?
You what?
What did you just...
Okay.
3518.
The XP.
Just a second.
I guess dying really did give me some good experience.
150, I believe.
Well,
Keep me.
wonderful.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I know those can sometimes be a little slow in the town stuff, but I don't know. I hope you guys enjoy the character development abilities, and being able to do it. It was a little light on combat, but you guys still got it. And for the Sturges, so in addition to that, do you, if Roland, if you don't mind putting that in chat.
Oh, yeah,
got
so-
the Sturge.
I'm going to post it as Wise Yori. He's going to be our loot gatherer. And
Wise Yori told you 100.
Yeah, 150 experience each for role playing.
I'm gonna round this one up. It's gonna be 20 XP per for the 3 Sturges you guys disposed of.
Each or divided?
That is divided. It's 25 times 3 divided by. It is like 18.7. I'm just rounding up to 20 because, yeah, there's no decimals in there.
Okay, so
The
20.
20 points apiece for the Sturges. Clandon gets swamp fever and dies.
He stubbed his toe and died.
Somebody's gonna die tonight. Come on. No, I'm just totally kidding.
A deer died
You
tonight.
killed somebody last time.
Yes, and I'm gonna give
When is it enough?
right.
He got a taste for blood, and now he's just crazy.
My precious, my precious. I think that's pretty much all of them there. So I think we got everything. You guys, if you guys have any questions about them, anything that you wanted to buy, sell, otherwise, we will pick it up next time. Find out if your companion can find his way.
When is the next time?
That's a good question. Let's find out. I think we were saying next week wasn't. 26th and 27th were busy. The 20th, I believe, it was also busy for other people. So it would be like the 4th. I think it was the next time everybody could make it. Unless you guys want to do on like the, probably not the 15th.
Cinco de Mayo.
The 22nd, 29th. I can do Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, but Friday and Saturday looks like the 4th or the 5th is the next closest. Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, we don't get back until Sunday the 29th.
And when you leave?
The 22nd.
22nd? Okay.
Shoot, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Okay,
He
so...
doesn't know yet, but I bought a lot of clothes.
Nice. So this is going to be the 4th, 5th, or 6th. What sounds best for everybody?
I am okay with the 4th, I think.
4th should work for us, right?
As long as it's at the same time at 8 o'clock, that should be fine.
Mhm.
Caleb's got soccer.
We'll try and keep it the same time every time unless there's a major conflict. Okay, so we'll plan on the 4th. And then if anyone has any trouble, we'll plan on the 4th at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 o'clock Central Time. And that should be good.
Cool.
That's
Everybody
fine,
good?
guys.
Good job, guys.
Thanks so much. Thanks.
Thanks for playing, guys.
See ya.